All right. I think we're back.
We're back up.
Yeah, but your webcam isn't there. Give me a sec. Technical difficulties, y'all. We don't know what's going on in here.
This is rough.
Just give us a sec. We'll let everybody start trickling back in from the other stream while we figure this one out.
All right, let me see if I can.
But keep talking on the quarterbacks. We got Lamar Jackson. He's looking.
Let me
50-50.
see if I can at least see these questions. But okay. Oh, I see your issue now. Oh man. Okay. Not pretty. Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah.
While John looks at that, yeah. No definitive word on
We're
Lamar
back.
Jackson.
We're good to go now.
We're good to go. I see the loading screen. I see the countdown screen. Are we good?
No, you need to come out of that stream altogether. That stream is gonna get shut down. I had to open up a whole nother stream.
Okay. Let me just refresh. All right, but we're back. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Are we feeling better now?
I believe so.
We're good. Okay. Sorry about that. As long as we're back up. Holy hell. Yeah. If we are in fact back,
we are
Lamar
back up.
Jackson.
I'm making sure we got the thumb in there and everything, but we're all the technicals are good to go. Theo, what's going on?
What's going on, Theo?
Thanks for the quick switch over.
We're having some technical issues, but I think we're past it now.
Yeah, we're good.
Our app that we use to launch this service just kind of crashed out on John's end.
Yeah.
So we had to reboot really quickly. But we're trying to get this back up and running. So sorry everybody, as you're trickling in, just repost your comments. Sorry about that. I think we are past the issues. But we will absolutely get to all these questions as long as this stream holds up, which is what we are hoping happens now.
Yes, sir.
Going back to my quick points as about the quarterbacks as people kind of trickle back in. Lamar Jackson, a true 50-50 game time call. It's a non-COVID illness, so obviously he's got a shot to still play, but it sounds like he's a true game time decision.
And he's had a few of these.
What I was going to ask before the first stream crapped out is, even if Lamar does play, are we lowering expectations for Bateman? Because I think coming into this week we're high on Bateman. There's a lot of people who are high on Bateman this week.
Last thing, sorry about that. I don't know, because Bateman should be the first and second read for whoever's playing
Mark
quarterback
Andrews.
there. Mark Andrews is there, yes, but I mean, Bateman 8 targets with Hollywood Brown in for the past 2 weeks. He should see 10 targets, and even if Tyler Huntley plays, 10 targets is not out of the question for Rashad Bateman. And 10 targets means regardless who's at quarterback, that's wide receiver 2 usage, and I'm chasing that usage.
Yeah, I'm tempering expectations as far as his ceiling, especially if Huntley is in.
Yes.
Theo, I missed the question, so if you can repost it, just go ahead and do that. We will absolutely answer it. And then one more quarterback note, and then we'll get to some of these questions as the people are starting to come back in. Kyler Murray is also still a game time call. He plays in the 4 p.m. window. He's got a 4:25 kickoff. So if you have Murray, I wouldn't, if you can swing this, I wouldn't play a 10 a.m. I'm on West Coast time. I wouldn't play a 1 p.m. quarterback. I wouldn't play a quarterback going in the early slate because I'm holding out hope that I can play Kyler even at less than 100% without DeAndre Hopkins. If he can't go, see if Ben Roethlisberger's available. See if Daniel Jones is available. Maybe Derek Carr. That's also going to be close because they play in the same-ish window. So if the news is late on Kyler, obviously that's going to be kind of cutting it close. But that's what I would pivot to if I had Murray. Just reiterating.
Murray's such a QB1. I mean, if he's playing and you don't have him in your lineup and you opted to go with somebody earlier, that's gonna hurt when the time comes around that he is starting. If he is starting.
Yeah, right. So I would not play a quarterback in the early window. I'd hold out hope and see if a guy in the later window is available. Well, let's get to these questions. What's going on, Ryan? Hockenson or Knox this week? We got this a couple times yesterday. I think the consensus is Knox. There's a lot of concern with Hockenson between the offense, the backup quarterback.
Yep.
Knox is attached to the much better quarterback, and before the broken hand was being heavily utilized in this Bills passing attack. And even against, again, we've been saying this, even against like the lowly Jets, when they have the game in hand by like midway through the third quarter, they keep their foot on the gas. The Bills offense does, like as far as throwing the ball. So Knox.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still playing catch up. Give me a sec here.
Are we having connection issues?
No connection issues. I'm just making sure that the old stream is off of the front page and all that stuff.
Okay. Well, I know you're in agreement with me there as far as Knox versus Hawkins.
Yeah, I'm playing Knox over everybody.
Not everybody. Well, all right.
I'm
going to move on.
Not everybody.
I'm going to move on.
Yeah.
Jorge, what's going on, Jorge? Good morning. Is it time to drop Derrick Henry? John made a compelling enough argument yesterday that essentially was like, if you're a believer in like the 1% of the 1% chance that he returns, then keep him. If anything else, if you need the roster spot, if you're like 9-1, 8-2, you're sitting pretty, you're one of the top seeds, you're clearly going to the playoffs, and you want to hold on for that 1% of a 1% chance that he returns, sure. But any other scenario, you can drop him. If it's a redraft league, you're not keeping him. He's not a holdover for next year. If you need the roster spot, he's fine to drop. He's not coming back. It's the chances are so minuscule. Again, 1% of 1%, and that's like that's
it's
1%, just me
1%,
making a number. That's not like factual.
It's like a 1% injury that he would come back from a Jones fracture within like 6 weeks, and if you look on Yahoo right now, they still have him projected to be playing the last 4 games. That's based off of a 6-week timetable. I don't see that happening, even though he is a freak and he's on the level of AP, and AP obviously made the miraculous recovery from that ACL injury to come back and lead the league in rushing and rush for 2,000 yards. Derrick Henry's that type of guy, so the outlier factor there is enticing, and I'm willing, again, like Nick said, driving this point home, if you have the luxury of being able to keep him on your roster, keep him on your roster. If you don't have that luxury and you need to pick somebody up, make some moves, stack 2 defenses just so you got good defensive matchups, if you got to do stuff like that to make sure you win out the next few weeks, he's a drop. And it helps, obviously, if you have an IR spot that you can throw him into. But we are back. We are back at full strength. Sorry about that, you guys.
Cool.
Thanks for sticking with us through these technical difficulties, and we hope they don't plague us for the rest of the stream here. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it.
Okay.
All right, Uncle Stunkus, what's going on? Gallup or Sanders, Freiermuth or Knox?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of Sanders questions dating back to yesterday. If you guys could please let us know, are we talking Emmanuel Sanders or Miles Sanders? If you have a Sanders question,
I feel like this is Emmanuel because he stuck with within the position groups there. If it's Emmanuel or Miles, I'm going Gallup here.
You're going Gallup regardless. Yes. I think I am too, but just for clarity's sake, it would help. Just so we can give you a definitive yes.
And yesterday, I was going Knox. Nick was going Freiermuth. I'm still going Knox today. Are you still going? You're still going Freiermuth today?
I am. It's a beautiful matchup. Ben Roethlisberger's back. No weather to deal with as far as the gross rain that Pittsburgh played in last week. And the Chargers are a top 5 matchup for tight ends and a bottom 5 matchup for wide receivers. I know Deontay is matchup proof, but the return of Claypool doesn't concern me as far as Freiermuth.
Knox was a top 3 tight end when he was healthy in the beginning of the season, and I think he goes back to that. And I know Cole Beasley is off of the injury report, but I also know from tuning into Buffalo Sports Radio that he's not all the way healthy just because he's off the injury report. He's still dealing with the issues that he was dealing with, and he will have to deal with them for the rest of the season. They're just nagging injuries. They're just not listing them on the injury report this week.
We're talking about Knox, right?
We're talking about Beasley.
Cole Beasley. Yes,
Right.
I knew. Yeah, Cole Beasley's banged up. Right, so that plays into
Knox because
Knox.
we saw
Yeah.
Cole Beasley's usage dip when Knox's spiked and vice versa. When Knox went out, Cole Beasley started picking up 9-10 targets a game. I expect that to swing back to the way it was in the beginning of the season. I can't be off of Knox right now. I just can't.
That's fair. He was putting up huge numbers before.
I know Freiermuth has had a hot 2 to 3 game stretch there in the middle there.
In some brutal matchups.
But he was also like the only guy out there. It was him and Deontay and Harris.
Deontay was still out there. Harris was still out. And again, that's like with Claypool coming back, this is such a bad matchup. The Chargers are very strong against opposing wide receivers as an overall unit. So Claypool coming back for this matchup doesn't concern me about going back to the well with Freiermuth. So we're Uncle Stungus, we're at odds there.
I don't think Freiermuth is a bad play. I just think Knox is
I don't think either of them are a bad play, but obviously we have to pick one. So John's going Knox. Yep. John's going Knox. I'm going Freiermuth.
But we agree on Gallup.
We're at odds there. But
we agree on Gallup over all the Sanderses.
Yeah, we agree upon Gallup over the Sanderses.
Yeah.
But I know I think the chat, if last night they were leaning Knox over Freiermuth kind of favorably or significantly. So I know I'm in the minority, I think, as far as preferring Freiermuth. So Knox is probably a safer play, but I like Freiermuth's upside in a great matchup. So from there, if there's anybody else in the chat who has any thoughts there, but hopefully it doesn't definitively answer the question, but hopefully it helps as far as breaking down the pros and cons for both.
I will say this too, with Knox out, we didn't we saw some more usage for Gabe Davis, but they had Tommy Sweeney out there. So they were forcing the issue with having a tight end on the field and using them in significant in clutch situations, and it wasn't working out for them with Sweeney because he's not as good as Dawson Knox. But I think the fact that they were willing to stick with using a tight end, even when their number one tight end was out, over going to wide receiver heavy, which worked for them last season, it just again, I got to go with Knox here. But that's the last comment. Right. Let's move on to Sotober's question. What's going on? Garoppolo or Fields?
Fields.
I think I go Fields. That rushing floor, he's been on fire for what he's
looked a little better of late.
For Fields, he's been on fire Fields thus far, or for the past few games, relative to where he was earlier in the season.
Yeah, I'll just say he's playing better.
Yeah. There
we go. He's playing better than he
has. That's better. He's not quite on fire. There we go.
Yeah, he's playing better than he was. And coming out of the bye week, you have to think that gave them a little extra time to get some stuff figured out. Garoppolo, I'm worried about the 49ers today. It feels like a letdown situation. Monday night, prime time, beat the Rams as an underdog. Now they're going cross country to play Jacksonville for an early game. I feel like this got like Jeff Wilson. I'm firing up. Deebo Samuel is not coming out of your lineup, but like anybody else, I'm kind of play on with San Francisco. So Fields.
Going Fields. Alex, what's going on,
Alex? Gibson, Kirk, or Bateman,
Gibson.
Full point PPR. I think Bateman would have had a more compelling argument, but we might be dealing with a sick Lamar or a backup quarterback. So therefore, the ceiling is tempered with Bateman. Kirk gets no DeAndre Hopkins, so potentially wide receiver 1 target share, but a less than 100% Kyler Murray at best. Gibson performed against all odds last week, so let's go back to the well, given those options.
I'm going Gibson. And you're right. The Lamar Jackson illness does affect my outlook for Bateman here. I would have made a stronger case for Bateman here if everything was all points go there, but it's not. So Gibson.
Now, if Lamar is feeling sick and plays, maybe that means he runs less. Feel like throwing the ball is less of a strain on your body than running around.
True.
Right. But if, again, I don't know, is he foggy in the head? Does he feel like he's going to get sick? Like what is, we don't have the details on what exactly the specific illness is, but given the fact that there's more questions, got to lower expectations a little bit on Bateman.
Hasn't Lamar Jackson dealt with just random illnesses a few times in recent history? I feel like Lamar Jackson, it's not COVID, but he's had these illnesses.
Otherwise, he'd be ruled out.
He's had these illnesses every once in a while. Maybe he needs to lay off the.
I feel like I'm blank. I don't remember that, but
I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing two players, but
great,
I feel like I've seen this before. But regardless, Gibson, and thanks for tuning in, Alex. Theo, all right, you have 7 picks next year. You were offered a 2024 first for 2 2022 seconds. So late seconds.
2022 third.
And a
2023 third. I mean, it's a lot of capital for a first round pick 2 years from now. Obviously, the 2024 first has the far and away highest upside to turn into something. Is there any way you could do it for
well, I see down below your goal is to try to flip the 2024 for a 2023 first down the road and have 5 firsts in 2023. So while I like the 2023 class a lot, and I think that should be your end game.
You like those 2023 firsts?
I do.
I don't know, man.
But
did you see, I want a 2024 first. Did you see Braylon Allen yesterday? The running back from Wisconsin. Ooh, he looks good.
There's a bunch of running backs in the 2023 class too. There's a couple of running backs in the 2022 class that look to be better than what was coming out this year.
Braylon Allen is 17.
And I get it, bro.
He's gonna smash. You know that what's
3 years? I know, Theo. We've spoken on Dynasty. 3 years out, you want to start competing in after the 2023 draft, right? You're 3 years out. What I will say about draft picks is they have the most value like a week out from the draft.
From the actual
so you
draft,
can if you're all in on 2023 and 2024 and you have some 2022 picks. You have 7 picks next year.
You're saying go for it.
I'm saying sometime you might be able to get more once people fall in love with this current draft class, because it always happens.
So hold.
You hold until a week or two before the 2022 draft, and then you flip solidified 2022 picks into
or maybe you set or
unsolidified
save,
2023
maybe
draft
you
capital.
don't get more. Maybe you don't give more, but you give up less, or maybe you don't get more, but you give up less. Like one of those two scenarios. Yeah. All right. So maybe hold it, right? Because you have your treasure chest, right? You don't need to necessarily add more to it now, but yeah, closer to the draft.
Yeah, if you have the chance to be strategic there. Yeah, so people are going to fall in love with their players, fall in love with their guys. There's going to be hype trains all over the place. We see it every draft. A couple of risers just shoot up the draft charts, and people fall in love with them and are willing to go to spend whatever to get them. I mean, we saw it with the quarterbacks even this past year. Trey Lance shot up draft charts. And you could have gotten him in borderline the 3rd round before he shot up the draft charts. And then he went to the 49ers. And he was, in a lot of leagues, a 1st-round pick. So I would wait and capitalize on people falling in love with prospects and trying to get their guy. Because you can get more then once these draft picks are tied to actual draft capital.
Yep.
Actual names, but I like the moves. It's a forward thinking move.
Wait a little bit longer.
I would wait a little bit
longer.
Yeah,
there you go.
Because I really do think you can get more if you wait.
Chris, Elias, Jeremy, Jason. Good morning, everybody.
What's going on?
What we got going on, Elias? Who do I start in standard? Bateman, Collins, or Emmanuel Sanders? Leaning Bateman. Do you go Collins now over Bateman, especially in standard?
I don't know. Do you believe the narrative out of Pete Carroll's mouth that he's excited to see more of Rashad Penny this week.
Yeah.
Do you believe it?
Collins-
I don't know if I believe it. Pete Carroll just says stuff. I don't know if I believe it.
Pete Carroll just says things, and
especially about his running backs.
Anybody who's still holding out hope on Rashad Penny, like, God bless you.
In standard, edge goes to running backs.
Are you good? But, like, remember, Bateman's the one who's healthy. His quarterback is the one who's not.
Right. But Alex Collins, it's pretty much all systems go. Nobody's unhealthy on that team, and Russell Wilson should be healthier.
He missed practice Wednesday and Thursday. He got a full session in.
Yeah, this is tough Friday with this Lamar Jackson injury.
I'm going Collins. Give me Collins in standard. Yes, Penny might mix in, Travis Homer might mix in, but Collins, for now, for one more week, we can pencil in as the starter.
Isn't he the starter rest of season? Isn't Chris
Carson
out?
I'll answer your question with the same question you asked me. Do you trust Pete Carroll?
I don't trust Pete Carroll when he talks. He was talking about how Chris Carson was itching to play last week, and we were having to discuss whether or not Chris Carson was going to be coming back, and then all of a sudden he's out for the season.
We had been saying, so we never bought into that.
I know, but it's just the fact that Pete Carroll's willing to just say whatever he wants, and it's never the truth. So he can say that he's excited about Rashad Penny. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I don't believe it at all. Rashad Penny is averaged, I think, sub two yards per carry in the 2 games we've seen him. So Collins. If it was all systems go for the Ravens, I'd be going Bateman. But Collins is the safe play, standard. Collins, because I don't believe Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
The only thing I believe when it comes out of Pete Carroll's mouth is comments on whether or not they want to run more. If he says he wants to run more, I believe Pete Carroll.
That's how you
Anything else, it's a lie.
Jeremy, Bateman over Christian Kirk this week. If Lamar plays. If Lamar sits, then I would pivot to Kirk.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bateman. So obviously keep an eye on Lamar Jackson, Jeremy. If Lamar Jackson is in, Bateman. If Lamar Jackson is a somewhat surprise inactive because he's too sick to play, Kirk.
We got a question for a tight end question here from Chris M7.
How is Troutman over Hawkinson crazy?
Playing against Philly?
Might be a little crazy. Philly gives up a lot of points to tight ends. A lot of points.
Philadelphia gives up 16.1 fantasy points to opposing tight ends. That is the most in the league by almost by 1.2 points.
And no Kamara.
Yeah. And Hawkinson is going up against, who are the Lions playing?
The Browns.
So
in the elements, it's supposed to be another gross game.
And they're middle of the pack.
Lions are getting
the Eagles are giving up basically a touchdown more to
Lions
tight ends
are getting the short end of the stick with
the Browns.
With the weather the past couple games.
You got a 6.2 fantasy point disparity between the two there. I'm going. I don't think you're crazy. Troutman has the best matchup he's had all year. His usage has gone up in every week of the past 4 weeks. We've seen less and less and less of Juwan Man Johnson. And Troutman, the only thing he hasn't done is score the touchdown. I think
crazy.
I don't think you're crazy this week. With that matchup, 16.1 fantasy points per game to opposing tight ends, I don't think you're crazy this week. If any other matchup, I might be looking at you funny. But yeah, Hawkinson playing in the rain didn't go in the elements didn't go very well last week, and he's playing with a backup quarterback, and they're playing against a solid defense with a really good defensive line, and the number one quarterback.
The Saints are also playing with a backup quarterback, but I guess Trevor Siemian's better than Tim Boyle. I guess.
Yeah, I'm willing to say that. I don't know if I've ever seen Tim Boyle play.
I guess. Yeah, it's not crazy. No Kamara, good matchup, better weather. Not crazy, Chris.
Nope, I like it.
I like the swing for the fences. Eduardo, Fields,
What's going on,
Jimmy G
Jason?
or Cam? Yeah, I think. Oh, sorry. I think I said hi to Jason earlier.
Yeah,
I was running it. Oh, you did. Okay. Fields, Jimmy G, or Cam? Are we going Cam here?
It's between Fields and Cam because rushing upside, and I'm going Cam. I'm going
better
Cam.
Matchup.
I'm going Cam. Better weapons. Better matchup.
Better matchup. Washington came to life last week against Tampa. I don't know if we see lightning strike twice. Carolina's a good team in their own right. Yeah, I'll go Cam. He's got a full week of practice as the starter in limited work. He put up like a low QB2 play. Now he's going to be the starter.
Yeah, going Cam. They're obviously willing to scheme running plays for him in the red zone, and that is with Christian McCaffrey and Chuba Hubbard there.
Mm-hmm.
So they have the running backs to where they don't need him in the run game, but they're still scheming ways to use him in the run game, even when he's not even their number one quarterback, and now he's their number one quarterback. So yeah, Cam. I like Cam a lot.
What's up, KC Royals?
What's going on, man? Quick question: Rashad Bateman or Saquon Barkley in the flex? I think with this news coming out, you got to go Barkley.
We're concerned. Yeah, there's concern. Like Bateman should still see 10 targets, but they might be.
The floor is still there. The ceiling is not.
The floor is still there. The ceiling is
come down a little bit.
Is less. I'm not feeling as good about it.
And Bateman hasn't hit this ceiling, despite the usage in any of his 4 weeks.
Might not with a sick Lamar.
Right. So we might be waiting yet another week for the Bateman breakout, and the usage is still there, which is really encouraging, but the outcome hasn't been. We might have to wait one more week for that. I'm going Saquon Barkley here because upside.
Just if you can, Casey, just protect yourself by trying. If you have to, pick up a Monday night player. Like save a spot, or that you can, if you need to drop somebody or whatever, like somebody who either a giant or a buck as a flyer if you need to, in the event Barkley has to sit. But it sounds like he's trending to play. And Savvy, what's going on?
We got another Sanders versus Bateman question.
This one is Miles. This is tough because Bateman's the healthy one. Sanders is the one who's coming back, who could potentially be on a pitch count, but also could just go back to being the starter.
If it's PPR, I'm going Bateman. We haven't seen, even when he's been the starter, we haven't seen Miles Sanders with a 70+% usage share that he hasn't been getting running back one outcomes at the end of the week for really anybody all season, even when he was healthy. And now he's got so much more competition.
The thing about the Eagles is they didn't commit to this run-heavy offense until right after Sanders got hurt. So if you believe, the Eagles offense has been playing much better recently because they have been running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe in Sanders coming in and immediately just kind of contributing to that, then I can understand wanting to play him. But I feel like I gotta see him first. I'm always leery about, and that not that this is a 100% hit rate or maybe even a 50% hit rate, but I'm always leery about, unless he's a stud with a guaranteed workload, I am concerned about playing a guy first game back from missing multiple weeks.
My thoughts here are they're both floor plays this week, and it's PPR.
Bateman's a safer floor
Bateman
play with
has
PPR.
a floor of like 7 targets right now. Even though the quality of targets might not be there, Sanders might get you like 30% usage share this week, and he might be really splitting touches in a 4-way running back by committee. And I got to see it shake out with Miles Sanders. I believe in the talent still. He's got to show me, but I'm willing to believe in the talent. But I'm going Bateman this week over him. It's in PPR.
Yep. Is that Levi? Is that like an is that X Levi, or Levi you clinched a playoff spot, Levi? I'm curious. But Tua versus Cam, I think we're going Cam here, right?
Cam all the way.
Tua's got the better, or well, not like better by far. Actually, no, Cam might have the better matchup.
It's not even a question of matchups to me. I mean, the numbers might sway it more in Cam's favor, but I'm going Cam here. I'm going Cam here, and it's
an easy call.
It's an easy call for me.
There you go. JC Vader, thanks for coming back.
Yes, sir. What's
Collins
going on, man?
Collins or Pollard, half PPR. Pollard?
Pollard had a
Great
good
match.
game last week, but he technically has that 5-point floor if it's a Zeke game. I know they're playing the Chiefs. They might
They're playing the
need Pollard
Chiefs.
a little more. And Collins or Pollard contributed last game through the air. He didn't catch a touchdown or run a touchdown, but he got you 12 half PPR fantasy points because of getting usage in the pass game as well as the run game. A fair amount of run there.
I think
Collins is
JC Bader,
safer.
Collins is the safe play. That's the floor play. If you think you could use some upside, like you're looking at your matchup and it's just like, I need to maybe take a shot or two to beat my opponent, then Pollard. But Collins is the safer play. Collins is the floor. Pollard is the ceiling.
Collins right now, I don't see how his usage is going to go up at all.
No.
Right? Pollard, there are routes
There's
to
an
where
app.
his usage gets a bump. We could see an injury to Zeke. We could see there are routes to where Pollard sees a high uptick in usage, and Collins, I really only see people taking away usage from him moving forward. I don't see him gaining more usage. So Pollard, I'd be going Pollard here. I know the safe play Collins. I'd be going Pollard.
Collins is safer, I think. Collins is safer. Pollard has a floor, but it's still not higher than 4 or 5 points.
I haven't been really tuned into what Collins's point totals have been.
He busted last week, I
Did he?
think. Pretty sure
Well,
he
everybody
busted
busted in
last
that
week.
game last week, except
True.
for AJ Dillon.
True. Collins, the past 3 weeks, less than 5 fantasy points in standard in each of the past 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, Pollard.
All right, Pollard.
Pollard.
All right, Collins is not as safe as I thought.
Yeah, 16 rushes, 10 rushes, never over 44 yards.
Arizona's good against the run.
He's only averaging like 1 target a game.
All right,
He's averaging less than 1 target a game. I think he's going to get more. I think Pollard's going to get more usage than Collins.
Got a FanDuel update here, just FYI for whatever this is worth. Jared Goff, quote unquote, unlikely to return for the Thanksgiving game.
Wow.
This Thursday.
Okay.
So could be another 2 weeks in a row of Tim Boyle. So yeah, Hawkinson is looking not as good.
Ugh.
So
Well,
just wanted
let's
to
hope
throw that
everybody
there.
out there has Knox.
Yup, or Dan Arnold or Freiermuth or Ty Conklin or somebody.
Yep. Hunter Henry.
Yeah, anybody. Hawkinson is trickling down the board a little bit here. But yeah, Pollard, JC Bader. Easy money Sicilian, PPR, Gallup or Cooks. I think we have to go Cooks.
Got to go Cooks here. It's one more week of Tyrod Taylor. They're playing the Titans, I believe, who aren't they're not a terrible matchup.
They're an improving unit for sure. That defensive line is looking pretty strong.
The Tennessee Titans they're giving up the most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers.
Cooks.
38 fantasy points to opposing wide receivers.
I think
over 10 games.
The Chiefs are up there as well, but not as high. Yeah, no, they're a little bit more middle of the pack.
Chiefs are lower middle of the pack, yeah.
Okay, so Cooks.
I'm going Cooks there. Yep.
Cooks. It only takes one play with him. If
Saquon is out, then Slayton, Bernard, or Rojo. Never Rojo.
Yeah.
no, never Rojo. That's never the answer. I find it hard to go. I find it hard to go Bernard. I haven't really looked at what his usage is, or
he's got a couple scores. He's got a little bit of decent use. I mean, my first thought went to Antonio Brown is already out. Now Gronk is back.
That equalizes it for me. And Leonard Fournette getting 10 targets a game. I know he got that either last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't see much ceiling. You're hoping for 7 to 10 points as a ceiling for Gio.
Yeah, in half PPR, he's got over 10 points 3 times. So not spectacular, but he hasn't been a 0. Actually, week 3 in half PPR, 15 points. Week 5, 10 points. Week 8, 10 points. Last week, he was a do nothing game for him. The Giants give up a decent amount of production to running backs, but I think I would lean Bernard over Slayton. The hope is Saquon plays. If he doesn't, At least Bernard is another running back. Bucks are on a 2-game slide right now. They're going to want to right the ship. I think Gio Gio's got a chance to mix in. Obviously, Fournette is the guy, but Gio's got a chance to mix in.
That's my hesitation is Fournette. You referenced week 1 and week 5 there for Gio. Fournette didn't really come into his own this season until around week 6. And I know he has one game. Gio has
before that.
A little bit. The usage was ticking up.
I mean, are you trying to make a case for Slayton right now?
No, it's just I'm not high on Bernard.
Well, this is the point here is like if this is a desperation play if Saquon is out. So like I would just prefer Gio.
Who else is out there, bro? Let us know who else is out there.
What's up, Slim? And Uncle Sungus, you're welcome. We debated at length about that tight end one, but hopefully it helped. Still feeling Knox over the Muth, even with Ben. John I am feeling Muth over Knox. We're at odds there,
We're
Slim.
split there. I'm still going Knox. He's still going Muth. I don't think Muth is a bad option. I just think
both good options.
Has a higher ceiling.
I would play Fryer Muth over Knox if I had to, but not that I feel great. Again, yeah, we're in agreement there. They're both good matchups. I don't feel great about having to start one over the other because I think either one can absolutely deliver. I prefer Muth in the top 5 matchup. John prefers Knox because he's attached to the better quarterback. Cole Beasley's banged up.
I think he's top 5.
Was heavily involved prior to the injury.
I think Muth is top 8. So you're not dropping down that far. So it's really personal preference. We're splitting hairs here. But we're sticking to our guns as of what we decided on yesterday. So, Bender, what's going on?
What's going on, Bender?
Appreciate it.
Flexing Marcus Johnson over Barkley.
Ooh,
can you pick? If you're gonna do that, Bender, is there just like is Darius Slayton available? Like, is there a dude on Monday night that you can pick up where it's like if Saquon goes, I hope Marcus Johnson does well. You always root for guys who come out of nowhere a little bit to keep it going, but I don't know. Are we chasing points a little bit? I know Houston gives up lots of points to wide receivers.
Man. They've been searching for a number 2 there all year.
Yeah.
We thought it might have been Nick Westbrook. We thought it might have been Josh Reynolds. We thought it might have been Chester Rogers, and they're just cycling through the guys to find their guy. And Marcus Johnson looked pretty good.
Yeah, he looked good. That's such a deep tier break that I want to roll the dice on Saquon, and if I have to pivot to a desperation play, at least I wait until Monday night when I definitively know if Saquon is playing or not. Like everything seems to be trending in the right direction for Saquon. Let me see.
I think you're crazy. I think you're insane for doing this. But Marcus Johnson, I will say, he's 6'1". 204 pounds and ran a 4.39. So he's a size speed freak.
Barkley is seemingly trending towards a return. Obviously, it's a risk. I would roll the dice.
I'd roll the dice on Barkley, but I'd like
roll the
Marcus
dice on
Johnson.
Saquon.
I like Marcus
Johnson.
I like Marcus Johnson. I think
that's
he sticks around for the rest of the season because I don't trust the health of Julio, and I don't trust anybody else in that offense. So I think Marcus Johnson has a real shot to solidify a role to be like their Tim Patrick. But Saquon. Ryan Righteous, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Hey man, we love spending the Sunday mornings with you too. Should you start CEH and D Williams in my flex? Or avoid both and play Gallup and Lockett in my flex.
Is it full PPR? What's the scoring? That might help a little bit.
Nick has advocated playing both running backs in an offense in the same matchup before. He did it with Denver, and it ended up working out.
I don't know if this specific scenario would be a situation where I want to do that. Ryan, the scoring would help here a little bit. If it's full PPR, I want to play Gallup. I want to play Lockett. If it's half, like maybe I want to play the backs, but I think the report is Clyde is going to play.
Clyde is
right?
going to play, and I don't think I'm
Or he's
playing two.
active.
I don't think I'm playing two backs in the same offense and putting one in your flex. I think I'm going Gallup or Lockett there, and I think between Gallup and Lockett, I'm going Gallup this week.
According to Ed Werder of ESPN, Edwards-Helaire is expected to start, but Darrell Williams will continue to have a role in the offense. I'm not sure how much I buy that, but the fact that report is even out there, I'm leaning the wide receivers unless it's standard.
So are you leaning playing Gallup and Lockett, or are you leaning playing CEH and Gallup or Lockett?
Full PPR, I'm leaning playing Gallup and Lockett. Like Williams and CEH, one of the two should deliver. But
you got strong wide receiver options there, and you pointed out yesterday that DK Metcalf doesn't do very well historically against Arizona.
He's got a bad history against Arizona. Now, granted, that was against Patrick Peterson. Peterson is no longer there.
But if DK Metcalf has a bad game against Arizona again, the only person who's picking up the slack in the passing game with Russell Wilson back, another week healthier with his hand injury.
I'm going the wide receivers.
Lockett could have a boom game this week.
And sometimes we see those types of trends continue regardless of person. Like sometimes players just don't play well against a certain team. We see it happen all the time in like the NBA. Like players just don't do well against a certain team. Somebody just has your number. The wide receivers, Ryan, especially in full PPR, give me Gallup and Lockett.
Yeah, I feel comfortable.
Let's see how the Kansas City thing shakes out. And then they get their bye week, and then week 13, we should have a much better assessment of where we're at with both of those guys.
And Gallup should have a relatively high floor because he got 5 targets last game coming back from injury, and Amari Cooper's out, and Blake Jarwin's out. So he should
I feel better about him. I feel better about Gallup now than I do Bateman.
He should be a floor play and a ceiling play, and Lockett is a boom-bust play. So they pair really well together. And the fact that you're starting, I like that pairing, because they kind of even each other out, their strengths and weaknesses there. So, yeah, I guess Gallup and Lockett. I agree. Theo, the offer was made from a guy who wants to take my picks and flip them to contend for playoffs. Okay. This league is really hard to trade in. I would be giving up my last 3 picks in 2022 and my last.
Then, I mean, if you can acquire the 2024 first now and don't think you can later because of the way the timing is going to shape out, are you more inclined to just say yes, like give me the 2024 first?
Yeah, if you're not, and you can always take.
And it's the last advice picks of a treasure chest of picks.
Right, you can always take our advice with waiting to kind of swap picks between years. After you make this trade, you're gonna have 5 firsts in 2023. If the 2024
keep
class,
the 2023 third, could you try to keep the 2023 third? But if you won't budge off of it, then maybe just did like.
I am not of a. I mean, thirds
produced Elijah Mitchell this year.
I know, but you're getting like 1 to 2 players out of a 12 round.
Yeah,
third,
I know.
And you know, it's kind of. Unless the class is deep, those third round picks, you're kind of shooting for maybe to get one out of 12 chance. So I wouldn't be hinging on a third. If a third, excuse me,
all right.
If a third gets it done and you like the return, then do it, and you can always trade back for a third later if the third means much to you.
The 2024 first is not going to be valueless. It can recollect.
Yeah, if you got an end of the roster guy that has a hot week, you can ship him off for a third. Like it happens. True. It happens. So I wouldn't be really deliberating over that third round pick, and that wouldn't be the deciding factor
the deal,
there.
Theo.
I would just do it.
First.
Just do it.
Another first.
Yeah.
Cool.
I wish I was in your position. 5 first round picks in 2023.
You need to step up your game.
I'm getting there. Theo, you got some competition.
What's going on, Jay? Do you believe Cam Newton can fix the Carolina passing game?
Fix? No.
No?
I think he makes the offense
can make it
run
better.
I think he makes the entire offense run better, and he can make just on game day the passing offense look a little bit more efficient because of how he runs an offense and how defenses have to play a guy like Cam Newton with that quarterback spy and all that stuff.
At this point in Cam's career,
fixes Robbie Anderson.
He's fantasy relevant, but the rest of the offense, it's going to be a little tougher.
I mean, we saw Robbie Anderson get reunited with the guy that he had rapport with for two seasons in the Jets.
In the Jets under Adam Gase, and that connection looked competent.
Right, it was the only connection for the Jets that looked like it was any outside of the Jamison Crowder-Darnold connection. It was the only connection that looked like it could bear some fruit moving forward, and they tried to make it happen there in Carolina, and it just didn't happen with Robbie Anderson. And they brought in a quarterback that was supposed to like really help Robbie Anderson. I'm just not on the Robbie Anderson bandwagon. I think he was I think he had a hot season last year. With Teddy Bridgewater, and Teddy Bridgewater locked in on him, and just they didn't have Christian McCaffrey, so he got a few more passes. They didn't have a third option in the pass game. I don't think anybody's coming to fix Robbie Anderson, but I do think this passing offense,
like DJ Moore's floor can't go any lower. Like, let's put it that way.
Well, he's not going to get those 12 target a game games, but he might get 6 targets a game, and the efficiency will rise.
Turns it into 5 for 80.
Right, the efficiency might rise. So I think it's an if. Either you stick with Darnold and you're getting 12 targets a game and you're getting 6 for 60, or you're moving to Cam and you get 7 targets a game but you catch 6 for 60.
Yeah. We got to see, we got to see if last year with the Patriots, and there's a compelling argument that this is in fact the case, but if it was an aberration, if Cam can still do it. Today's going to be fun as far as let's find out where Cam is at. As far as this point in his career.
I really like this whole Cam story. Yes, last week with the I'm back, it was awesome. I was watching that with a big smile on my face, man. And I think Cam Newton got the short end of the stick in New England, playing with half of the team on opting out for the year, and I mean the tight ends were Ryan Izzo and Dalton Keene, and their number one target there was a dead Julian Edelman and Jacoby Myers, who didn't score a touchdown until last week. And we spoke about this a little bit yesterday. I just think Cam Newton is playing with the best weapons of his career now. And it's not even close.
There you go.
And he basically willed Kelvin Benjamin to a borderline wide receiver 1 season in his rookie season. That was a
really long time ago.
I know. But if you believe that any percentage of that talent is still there, it shouldn't take much to will DJ Moore to a wide receiver 1 season.
A crazy, I think I'm saying that right. What's going on? Jeff Wilson or David Montgomery? We got to go Montgomery here.
Yep.
I know Jeff Wilson's in a smash spot today, but Montgomery's a little bit more proven. And for as good as Wilson was last year at the end of the season, I think it's fair to say Montgomery was better for probably a little bit longer.
And Damian Williams is out this week. Damian Williams really didn't play much last game, and he was healthy for last game, but it was still the Montgomery and Herbert show. And now it's going to be the Montgomery and Herbert show out of necessity. And Montgomery is a little bit healthier coming off of a bye. Montgomery. Yeah. And it's really not close for me. I'm going Montgomery. And I like Jeff Wilson, but Montgomery. Ryan N., what's going on? Hawkinson or Dan Arnold in PPR?
I think we got to say Arnold, right?
Dan Arnold this week.
I think we have to pivot off of Hawkinson. Like the elements are very similar today in Cleveland as they were in Pittsburgh last week. And as bad as Jared Goff was, it's now Tim Boyle. This is just this off. Like you can't start anybody on Detroit outside of DeAndre Swift. It's unfortunate. Hawkinson was looking really strong coming into this season, but it's been a bit of a nosedive recently, and there's no reason to really have that much confidence in him right now.
Yeah, Jay Smooth, we agree. Dan Arnold.
What's up, Derrico?
What's going on, man? Tyler, Nashville PPR, McKissick to Ernest Johnson for a flex. I saw your question in the other live stream.
Right,
you were one of
Yeah,
the first people to throw in a question. We apologize for it, crapping out on us. I think this week I'm going to Ernest Johnson in the flex.
This game is shaping up to potentially be a McKissick game, but so was last week, and McKissick dudded. To your point, John, Ernest Johnson might see a little bit more work just as the number 2 running back in Cleveland by default. And somebody, I'm sorry, I'm blanking, who brought up a good point yesterday that maybe Nick Chubb needs a little bit more of a breather here and there in his first game coming back from COVID.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm all right with Ernest there. McKissick is obviously always a PPR threat, and this is the type of game where he can come through. But I mean, we saw Gibson come back to life last week. Against all odds in another matchup that looked like it was shaped up perfectly for a J.D. McKissick week, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm going to Ernest because, I mean, you look at this offense. If that was McKissick or Kareem Hunt, you're going Kareem Hunt and you're not even thinking about it. Ernest Johnson should pick up that Kareem Hunt role in the 3rd heaviest rushing offense in the league right now. Yeah. Nick Chubb will get a ton of work. He'll get more work than he probably usually would if Kareem Hunt were out there. But that doesn't mean Ernest Johnson can't get you 10 to 13 rushes and a few targets, which is what we're expecting for a guy like Alex Collins in terms of usage. And I think Ernest Johnson is a better back than Alex Collins right now, and at least plays in the better rushing attack.
For sure.
So I'm going to Ernest Johnson.
Okay.
I think he has a good chance to score a touchdown today.
It's possible if they're, if the Cleveland's got the game in hand, especially in the second half. What's going on, Devin? Pick one. Are you going back to the well with Ernest, or are you pivoting to either Ty Johnson or Bryan Edwards?
Man, deep PPR league.
I like
Ty Johnson has been good, but one thing about Ty Johnson, Zach Wilson is playing this week, is he not? Or is it going back to Mike White?
No, it's going to Flacco. Joe Flacco's playing today.
Oh, snap. Okay. I liked Ty Johnson with Mike White because Mike White was hyper targeting the running backs, and we saw an insane floor with Ty Johnson. He had 4 straight weeks of 10 plus half PPR points, which is insane for a running back that's getting 30 to 40% of the work. And with the quarterback change, I'm not sure if we see that again.
James Robinson officially active. I don't think that's a major surprise, but just FYI, that's official. I feel like I remember you saying a couple weeks ago that you were warming up to Ty Johnson, and maybe like this scheme doesn't change regardless of who the quarterback is. I would, and Joe Flacco's a check down god.
I would agree with that.
Does that sway?
But I wouldn't. But I'm not with Flacco in there. I would agree with that because
even though it's
if Zach Wilson was in there, yes, because if Zach Wilson was in there, he's a rookie. If the scheme that Mike White was playing continues to be used, I feel like Zach Wilson is more moldable. I feel like Joe Flacco is just gonna run out there and be Flacco. And I know he's a check down god. I think that's a boost for Jamison Crowder. I don't know if that's a boost for a Ty Johnson.
What about Bryan Edwards here?
It's between Ernest Johnson or Bryan Edwards. And I know Bryan Edwards didn't get an uptick in usage. He still only sees like 4 or 5 targets a game max. But he's basically, last I checked, he was top 3.
Play waiting to happen.
Last I checked, he was top 3 in average target distance and average routes run and all those ancillary metrics. Poor man's Brandon Cooks. Like, he just needs one big play. Obviously, he's still raw. He's still molding, but like that's kind of like what your hope. Cooks is a safer big play waiting to happen, but Edwards is. Well, I heard this point being made, and I was just, and this is a little bit of a deeper dive in just to the Raiders offense. You would look at the point totals this year, and you would think, all right, Darren Waller's not doing as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Hunter Renfrow is doing better, and they probably operate in the same areas of the field. Hunter Renfrow is the guy that's taking away work from Darren Waller. But last year, Darren Waller lined up out wide more than any other tight end in the league.
Yeah.
And the player that's lining up out wide in that spot now is Bryan Edwards.
Is Edwards.
And Edwards got, I think, 3 receptions for 88 yards last week. Did he score a touchdown?
He did.
He did score a touchdown.
Yep.
So on 4 targets.
Yeah, on 4 targets.
He's the guy that can turn 3 of them into a high-end wide receiver 2 week.
A big play. Ty Johnson is a floor play, Devin. And I guess so is D'Ernest.
I think I'm willing to go to Ernest Johnson over Ty Johnson. Or Ty
sorry.
Johnson.
Yes,
And
I
the difference.
I agree. D'Ernest Johnson is a floor play who should be relatively safe. Bryan Edwards is a ceiling play.
Agreed. Because I like Bryan Edwards more than I would have thought coming out of that game where he only got 4 targets. 4 targets in back-to-back weeks.
Touchdowns make
yeah.
all the difference as
Yeah.
far as of opinion, you know.
So it is the fact that it's a deep PPR league. Bryan Edwards would probably be a wait and see for me, but since it's a deep PPR league and it is PPR,
I think that the Bengals are in the bottom half of the league as far as
safe play to Ernest, ceiling play Edwards.
Ceiling play Edwards, floor play to Ernest. Yep.
Now, if I was to give the edge to one, it'd probably be to Ernest. Because Bryan Edwards can get you 0. He can get you a 0, and it could be a swing back to Zay Jones game. Because 2 weeks ago, another 4-target game, Bryan Edwards didn't give you anything, and Zay Jones at least caught 1 target. Whereas I don't see D'Ernest Johnson putting up a goose egg.
Mm-hmm.
I think I go to Ernest Johnson there. I think personally go to Ernest Johnson. But if you need that boom bust week, if you need that high, that super high upside, go Bryan Edwards. Michael Sewell, what's going on? Devontae Smith or Rashad Bateman?
Smith is going to see Marshawn Lattimore today, so we got to temper expectations a little bit. But Bateman might be playing with a sick Lamar or a backup quarterback, so Bateman is a safe play with a lower ceiling. Devontae Smith has a less safe floor going up against Marshawn Lattimore, but has the higher ceiling.
Agreed.
So I don't know if that helps. Bateman, if you think you can play it safe, Michael. If you need to maybe go get a little bit more upside, Devontae Smith.
Tim Shields, what's going on, man?
Tim?
Durko, have PPR, pick 2, 1 wide receiver and 1 flex. DJ Moore, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Saquon Barkley. Deontay Johnson, T. Higgins?
I guess. Yeah, Saquon, like those receivers are good enough where, you know, if you want to wait on Saquon for a week, especially being questionable on Monday night, Higgins and Deontay should be good enough to deliver. Should be good enough to get it done.
I don't like sitting DJ Moore, and you just heard me talk a whole lot about Cam Newton and my love for Cam Newton this year and this week. But the safe plays here, Higgins and Deontay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim, what's what up? Full PPR, Stafford on bye. Cam or Carson?
So Wentz gets the Bills.
Carson's playing the Bills. I'm going Cam.
Cam. Actually, that's kind of easy.
Yep. Carson's getting the worst matchup for opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah. And then as far as like the over under, I mean, if he throws for 200 yards and 1 touchdown, I'm just like giving you the floor right now. Like that's 12. If he runs for another 50, let's say that's 16. So I'll say he goes slightly over. I don't think he smashes.
All right, here's the numbers, and this makes it super easy. The Washington football team is giving up the most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks, 24.2.
Yeah.
And the Buffalo Bills are giving up the least fantasy points.
I'm not talking. We're past that. We're past that. Tim asked Cam's over under as far as points scored.
Sorry.
No, we're past that.
I was still on that. Well, The numbers just illustrate the point a little better. Cam over Carson,
slightly
100%.
slightly over, but I don't think he smashes that over.
Well, then by the numbers, the average would be 24.2, so over. On average,
slightly over, but I don't think he smashes the over. I agree, but I don't think he goes ballistic today. It's his first game back.
He could revenge.
Could. There's no revenge.
Game,
never.
bro.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, that's not really.
Hey, Mr. Revenge game. You're picking and choosing.
It's a revenge game for Ron Rivera. It's not a revenge game for Cam. Ron Rivera wasn't the one who cut Cam.
Yeah, but they played together.
They
got some history.
It's more of a revenge game for Ron Rivera if you want to go that route. Not Cam. Cam's playing for his old team.
All right.
Big
well,
pun.
yeah, I'm with you over there. Big pun.
Big pun. Let's go to DJ Moore, Gaskin, Deontay Johnson, Pittman, Jeff Wilson. 2 wide receivers in the flex. Deontay Pittman. What?
Deontay Pittman more.
No, Deontay Pittman, Gaskin.
He's playing the Jets, and I believe they're giving up the most fantasy points to.
I hate Gaskin, big pun. I think he stinks. But if you're ever going to play him, it's this week in the best possible matchup.
Yeah, they're giving up 35.4 fantasy points to opposing defenses.
Yeah, a million.
They're
giving up a million points to running backs. Deontay Pittman there's a little bit of downside, but Pittman has delivered the goods this year, so I can't sit him. And then Gaskin. Deontay's a layup every week for me, no matter what.
I keep advocating, I guess, sitting more, and I don't feel good about it whenever I do.
I feel fine about it for at least this week. He's been three straight duds. Let's see how he does. He needs to right the ship before he's back in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
El Duke, what's going on? Super flex.
Tyrod
Flacco or Colt McCoy.
Tyrod.
Yeah, Tennessee is probably the best matchup. Tyrod stinks, but he can run.
Tennessee is giving up the third most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks on average.
Yeah, a bad defense can shut Tyrod down kind of easily, but
he comes with some sort of rushing floor, though.
I'll play. That's
not
the thing.
A great quarterback.
I'll play the rushing floor.
None of those options are great quarterbacks. I want the guy with the rushing floor, whatever that rushing floor is. So, yeah. Ryan Righteous, you said PPR.
That was the Gallup. That was the Chiefs running backs. Gallup.
Yep.
Yeah, we got that.
Yep.
And we got Tyler's question right. D'Ernest over McKissick.
Yeah.
Chris, would you guys go with Galladay, Mike Williams, Donta Foreman, Devontae Freeman, or Collins as your flex? You can only start one of these guys.
Oof.
Full PPR. I'm going
Mike
Foreman. No, I'm going Foreman. I am a believer in Dante. I'm sorry. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Donta. I'm a believer in Foreman this week. I like it. Yeah, Houston's a bad team. I think they don't give up Jets production to running backs, but they give up good production to running backs in their own right. Jeremy McNichols is out. Foreman has proven he is better than Adrian Peterson at this point. I think Foreman sees the majority of the snaps. And this is a great opportunity for him in the second half, a game that Tennessee should win to help salt the game away. Foreman. I think it's kind of easy. Mike Williams is the ceiling play, Chris. If you feel like you need some upside, you need to swing for the fence. I don't think Foreman's going to have.
That's my problem. I don't think Foreman sees the ceiling. I think Foreman has a great chance.
Because of Adrian Peterson?
No, I don't think this offense is gonna have the explosion that we're all expecting I'm not necessarily expecting them to explode, but we know what they want to do. Derrick Henry going down didn't change the fact that Tennessee wants to run the ball, and they're down one of those running backs today in McNichols. It's Donta Foreman and Adrian Peterson, and yes, Peterson's going to get 10 touches, but Foreman has leapfrogged him. All right, I'm coming around to it. Foreman floor play, Mike Williams ceiling play.
Foreman is the
going
floor
Foreman
play
all the way because Mike Williams, that ceiling play is enticing. Full
the
PPR.
ceiling play is enticing for Mike Williams, Chris. And if you feel like you need to swing for the fences, then sure, Mike Williams. But I think Foreman has a safe 10 point fantasy point floor today.
But I could say the same thing about Devonta Freeman. Especially in a game with Lamar Jackson probably unhealthy, not running around as much. They're probably going to force the issue a little bit more with the running backs that they have. I think Foreman and Freeman have a little bit that are basically the same guys, so it's picking and choosing and splitting hairs. I would be going Mike Williams for the upside.
If you need the upside, then I agree. If you need the upside, I agree. But if you want to play it safe, if it's like a neutral situation, Foreman's got the better matchup. I think Foreman is a little bit safe. He's safer than Devontae. He's ahead of Devontae Freeman, kind of clearly for me. Mike Williams would be the ceiling play, but I like Foreman this week. I do.
All right, we're split there because I'm going Mike Williams this week. I know he hasn't done a ton over the past 4 games.
It's been floor plays the past like four weeks at this point. And like 5 out of the past 6.
In full PPR, I'm going Mike Williams and hope for one of the games that we saw early in the season.
Okay, what's going on, Slim?
What's going on, Slim? And Savvy, you too.
Bateman, Ayuk, Marcus Johnson, Bateman. Still Bateman. Full PPR. The targets might not be as pretty today with a Lamar with the pukes or whatever he's got going on, or a backup quarterback.
Lamar poop game.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Well, whatever. He came back and delivered big time after the poop. So maybe that's all he needs. Just needs to flush it. Bateman. I would. Yeah. You said it earlier, John. 7-8 targets is his floor. Ayuk is hit or miss. Marcus Johnson. I'm intrigued by, but I feel much safer with Bateman.
Brett Forseth, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Brett?
All right, we got a DST question. Saints at Eagles or Dolphins at Jets?
I think it's kind of easy. The Dolphins.
Yep.
The Jets are just a target. Like, the Jets' offense is a target for opposing defenses.
And the Dolphins have a pretty good matchup. Have pretty good matchups the rest of the season. So if you're looking for a defense where you can continue to stream them after this week, I'm going Dolphins, even though the Saints have a pretty good playoff schedule too. And the Saints are not a defense to just take lightly.
Saints are good. Eagles are at home. They've been running the ball extremely well. The Saints are they're not a significantly different team, but they're a slightly different team on the road outside of the dome. Trevor Siemian's second straight road start. Like, does he put, the Eagles defense came to life last week as far as like some, obviously the Saints offense, even with Trevor Siemian in there, is better than the Broncos offense. But Eagles are at home. Maybe they look like they have found a bit of a formula as far as what is working. So offense, I think the Saints are fine, but the Dolphins have the much better matchup.
For what it's worth, if you are looking ahead, the Saints play the Eagles, then the Bills, then the Cowboys, then the Jets, then the Buccaneers, then the Dolphins, then the Panthers.
Gross.
Whereas Miami plays the Jets, the Panthers, the Giants, the Jets, the Saints, and the Titans.
Those last 2 aren't good, but those
last 2 aren't good, but those
3 of those 4 or whatever are.
Yeah, our top 12 matchups against. So I'm going Dolphins this week, and I'm going Dolphins for the next 4 games.
Sure.
If you are looking ahead.
Saints might be looking at it as a drop sooner or later just because of the matchups.
Yep.
Notorious, you already know. I'm probably going to embarrass myself and take a bathroom break shortly here, but appreciate the look.
I'll hold it down.
I chugged some coffee. Remember, it's 8 a.m. for me, so it's a little. I chugged some coffee before this stream, and now Mother Nature's like,
ew. Well, yo, go deal with that. Turn your mic input down. So
I'm good. I'm fine. I can get through a couple more of these questions. I do this for the people. Still skeptical of Lockett and Wilson. Oh, Lockett or Mooney.
Lockett. I'm still going for Lockett.
I think I'm still going Lockett. I like Mooney. this week. I like Mooney moving forward. And I don't think he's too far from Lockett. I gotta think Wilson in the second game back from the injury at home.
Not
here's
playing
the thing
in
we've
the
never
elements
seen. Don,
as much.
here's something we've actually we've never seen, I don't think, outside of, maybe a actual playoff game here and there. But like for this end of season stretch, we have never seen Russell Wilson with his back against the wall. The Seahawks have never been in this situation with Russ. They've always been firmly in the playoff race.
So
whether
is this let Russ cook season? Like, finally, are we actually?
I mean, like this is the thing. Like, how does Wilson respond to adversity, this type of adversity, for the first time in his career? Right? Like, this is going to be a very interesting little wrinkle for Wilson for the end of the season. The Seahawks are 4-6 or 3-6 or 3-6. They're not good by their record, but they're alive because of that 7th playoff berth and the 18th game, or 17th game, 18th week. I'm very curious to see how Wilson responds, because this is the first time we're seeing a Russell Wilson-led Seattle Seahawks team in this situation.
But to me, that means he's going to need to force the issue through the air, because he doesn't have Chris Carson out there to be. And
it's Arizona. It's a division game. It's at home. These are must-win games.
And we spoke about this DK Metcalf situation against Arizona. DK Metcalf historically hasn't been great against Arizona.
Hasn't done well.
So it could be more of a Lockett narrative this game.
Could be more Lockett game. If the Seahawks are worth anything, they win this game today. If they lose a division game at home with either a banged-up Kyler Murray or potentially a Colt McCoy situation, Seattle season is done. It's over. It's over today if they lose. They have to win this game.
And every year we look up, and Tyler Lockett is a borderline wide receiver 1 based off of weeks where he goes crazy. There's a lot of bust weeks, but there's boom weeks.
Tyler Lockett has a good history, a good track record recently against Arizona.
So this could be one of those weeks where he can. I mean, he's put up 40 fantasy points in a week before. He seemingly does it.
He
seemingly does that every year.
Ball against
one
a certain team.
Right. Yep. I think you play Lockett this week over Mooney, because I don't see Mooney having that 40 fantasy point upside the way that Lockett does. And I know we might not see it, but it's a good as bet as any right now. If you're going to choose a week, choose the Arizona week when Russell Wilson's playing and back against the wall. I like that. I like that a lot. Eric Lanier, what's going on? Start Lanier. Lanier. I don't. Whatever. Start CEH, Deontay, or Corey Davis in the flex. Got to pick one for standard.
Even in standard, I'm playing Deontay.
Yep.
Deontay very clearly over Corey Davis, even in a bad matchup for Deontay. And Clyde, let's see how he does. He's according to Ed Werder, the ESPN report, Clyde is expected to start. I don't know how much I buy that.
Yeah, I'm going Deontay Johnson, borderline wide receiver 1.
Deontay.
You going Deontay. Monier, what's going on? Bench 1, Bateman, not Pittman. Thielen, McLaurin, Higgins. Ugh. I mean,
bench 1.
Are you benching Bateman this week?
Of those 3, I mean,
Thielen
hasn't not benching Higgins. I'm not benching Terry.
Thielen hasn't had great weeks the past few weeks, but this could be. I mean, he can turn it on and score 2 touchdowns in any given week.
They're at home, or we're talking about Thielen, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Thielen's had some floor weeks for him, but even for Thielen, like, floor games are either like 5 for 65 or scoring a touchdown. So
on like 2 targets, yeah.
Right. Bateman is the bench.
Bateman's the
Higgins
bench.
Higgins, McLaurin, Thielen, you're starting Monier.
If everything else, if Lamar Jackson was 100% coming into this game, I might be going Bateman over Thielen. But he's not.
Right.
So those last 3 are the guys that we're rolling with. But thanks for the question, Monier. Patrick Foley, Jeff Wilson, or Alex Collins flex PPR? Jeff Wilson.
Wilson. Yeah, the opportunity is ahead of Wilson today.
Yeah, and we've had 3, as we already discussed, 3 straight floor games for Alex Collins. Yeah. So, yeah. Hey, Tyler, you're welcome. Thanks for joining into the new stream once the old stream got closed out. Devin, hey, you're welcome.
This is what we do. We go on tangents.
Yeah, if you got any more questions that we can deep dive into, just let us know, man. That's what we like. Thanks for joining us. Alexander Gleason, PPR, Ayuk, Darrell Williams, Donta Foreman, Dan Arnold. Pick one.
Ooh, this is fun.
Yeah, speaking of the tough questions, Speaking of the ones we got a deep dive in.
I think it's between Foreman and it's the running backs for me. It's between the running backs, and I think I'm leaning Foreman just because Clyde is back. I'm gonna pound the table. I'm calling my shot. I think Foreman is a solid flex play today. I won't say he's an RB2, but I'll say he's a solid flex play today.
I'll give him that.
Foreman.
I'll give him that. Solid flex play. High end RB3 upside.
High RB3 with a little bit of RB2, like some mid RB2 upside. I think he's got like low end mid RB2 upside. Foreman does today. I won't say it happens, but I'm gonna stick to my guns. I like Foreman's chances today. Williams should be fine, but it's a little dicier about what is actually going to unfold in this backfield because there's an ESPN report from Ed Werder that Clyde, not Darrell Williams, is going to start. That's all I'll say. Foreman, without Jeremy McNichols, Adrian Peterson has been very much blah. He's getting red zone touches. Adrian Peterson is. So Adrian Peterson is probably the goal line back.
He's been the red zone back through.
But I'm gonna say
games.
Foreman.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say Foreman. I'm gonna go Foreman. Foreman, Williams.
If you're hoping
Arnold,
for a high end RB3 week.
Yeah.
But Arnold can get you week in,
week
week out, high end tight end 1 week.
I want the back.
In PPR, you're still going the back?
Yeah, I want the back.
Okay.
Who's Jacksonville? Oh, Jacksonville plays the 49ers. The 49ers, I think, are strong against tight ends. I don't think I might be wrong. They're more middle of the pack.
No, they're like the 10th best.
Oh, actually, nope. They're pretty strong against tight ends. San Francisco is. Yeah.
They're giving up 8 fantasy points to opposing tight ends. So yeah.
Foreman.
Haneek Milligan, what's going on? This is about that Cam. Yeah, he's right. Riviera didn't give Cam a chance when he got cut.
True.
He could have gone over to Washington.
Okay,
he
fine.
could have been like, "Why didn't you pick me up? Yo, revenge game."
Okay. All right.
I like that point.
Fair
Thanks,
enough.
Haneek.
Fair enough. He could have pivoted to Cam with Fitzpatrick out, and with Taylor Heineke in there. Yeah.
Or even in the offseason before they went with Ryan Fitzpatrick, they could have picked up.
Well, Cam was still a Patriot.
It was
still on the Patriots at that time. But no, the point stands. No, you're right. I'll admit. Yeah, I think that's an oversight by me.
Thanks,
game.
Hanek. Alejandro Burgos, what's going on? Foreman, Sanders, or Bateman if Lamar plays in a non-PPR league? Are you going Bateman again?
Standard scoring. Foreman.
You and your love for Foreman, man.
I think he's gonna come through a little bit today. I don't know why.
Today's AJ Dillon?
No.
All right. I don't know if you were willing to go that far.
Call it intuition, and I've been wrong on these gut feelings before, but I don't know. I'm feeling a little something from Foreman today. I just am. Foreman. Alejandro, yeah, over Sanders. I don't care if it's Emmanuel or Miles, and Bateman. I like this week. I still like, but the seal. To your point, if Lamar plays, that's a key question we're asking today. The ceiling is down a little bit for Bateman. Foreman.
Slim. I'm guessing that's Latavius Murray or Zach Moss. I'm going Moss.
Moss, especially in PPR. Murray's back. Murray's going to have a role, but Devontae Freeman is still there.
And I think Murray had only like 1 week over 10 points when he was the de facto starter.
It's been a bit of like pulling teeth with Murray. I'll go Moss. Give me the better offense. The Colts if the Colts have a strength on defense, it's against the run, not the pass. But the Bills are one of those offenses where you just, for the most part, you can kind of throw that stuff out.
Yep, going Moss.
Lead, especially in one other game removed from the concussion.
The artist formerly known. What's going on, man?
Yeah, formerly known. What's going on, Crumbly Eggs?
Bateman, Ingram, D. Smith, choose 2. Well, Ingram for 1.
Ingram for sure.
Yep.
And then Bateman is a floor play with a lower. We did get Bateman or Devontae Smith earlier, actually. Bateman is a floor play with a lower ceiling with either a sick Lamar or Taylor Huntley.
If it's Tyler Huntley, are you swerving to Devonta Smith?
Yes.
Okay. So if Lamar plays, you're going Bateman. But if Lamar doesn't play, you're going Devonta Smith here.
Devonta Smith.
All right.
Yep.
Agree with that.
And the reason Bateman is over Devonta Smith today with a potentially healthy Lamar is because Devonta Smith is going to see Lattimore for the Saints. Tough a matchup as it can get. So, but if it's Huntley for the Ravens, Smith over Bateman.
Yo, Brett, I didn't know that. You got that insider information, bro. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Olsen was calling plays. I didn't know that Olsen was a co-captain.
Okay.
But I guess Cam doesn't need to memorize the plays when he constantly calls his own number, right? I mean, if he's constantly just like, I'm going to run.
Cam relevant.
Just,
That's the thing that keeps Cam fantasy relevant. He runs and he plunges for those goal line scores. When Cam is in on the goal line, it's not going to be Christian McCaffrey who's the goal line back. I mean, he might get like the first down touch, and McCaffrey's good enough to capitalize on one touch, but Cam's going to be the goal line back. Not that Christian McCaffrey won't still come through. He doesn't need a touchdown.
That's an interesting wrinkle there, and I didn't really think about that.
Okay.
Yep.
So, all right. So that plays into the narrative.
Just a quick note. I see Slim just threw in. Josina Anderson says she doesn't feel good about Lamar's chance to play today. So just throwing that out. Thanks for that tidbit, Slim. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate that.
But just so everybody out there knows, I know a lot of people's fantasy outcomes this week are hinging on whether or not Lamar Jackson plays.
If Lamar doesn't go, you probably have to still fire up Mark Andrews, but Bateman's ceiling comes down.
Yep.
Lamar is not, quote unquote, not himself right now. Again, it's a non-COVID illness. Otherwise, he would have been ruled out already. But seems to be he's just really not feeling well. Yeah. We're tempering expectations for the Ravens all the way around at this point.
All right, Slim. Mahomes on bye next week. Better quarterback streamer.
Vanilla Vic. Holy hell, I've never
Vanilla
heard
Vic,
that.
Danny Dimes, the Eagle Killer, a.k.a. Daniel Jones. I'm taking some of those, man. Those are good. I like
Danny
those.
Dimes.
Hey, by the way, man, you got any horoscopes for us, bro?
Yeah, what's Danny
But are you going Danny
sign?
Dimes over Fields, or Danny Dimes versus Philly, or Fields versus Detroit? Both divisional games.
Both divisional matchups. Who's at home in that game?
They both have rushing floor upside.
They both have safe rushing floors. I'll say if Daniel Jones has his full complement of weapons, he has Saquon, he's got Galladay, he's got Tony, Sterling Shepard comes back. I'll go with, I don't even want to call him that. I'm going to go Danny Dimes. I like Fields. If Fields pops this week, if Fields pops today, then we may need to revisit this conversation. But Daniel Jones, if he's got his full complement of weapons, I'll give a slight edge to him right now. Yeah,
come back next week. I know you'll be back next week. Bring this question up.
Today.
Bring this question up once Mahomes is actually on the bye. We'll have a better chance of both to see how both of these offenses, because both are waiting for running back ones to return. I mean, we got Saquon. We don't know how he's going to be fitting into this offense and the ripple effects there. And yeah, I'm going Danny Dimes to start with though, but
for now, Dimes.
Yep.
Danny Dimes.
Dieter, you want to come on? You want to come online? You want to come on the stream, bro? We might be starting to roll something like that out in the off season, but no guest appearances for in season. We still got to figure out these technical difficulties with just the two of us first.
We're having issues with the own two of us here and there. So,
but if you got a question for us, man. Or if you got
know.
a comment, hit us up. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, Montgomery, Gaskin, or Ingram, pick 2. Ooh. I mean, most weeks it would be
Montgomery Ingram.
Most weeks it's a layup Montgomery Ingram. The only reason I had some pause is because Gaskin has far and away the best matchup.
But they for what it's worth, they activated Duke Johnson. And Salvan
Ahmed
is still there.
Duke lives.
So Salvan Ahmed is still there. This could be just another usage game for for Gaskin. And
All right, Montgomery, Ingram.
I'm going
I don't
Montgomery,
see Duke
Ingram.
Johnson taking that much work, but
No,
Montgomery,
Ingram. Me neither. But
Montgomery, Ingram.
They wouldn't elevate
Fine,
Duke Johnson for no reason.
Yup.
So yeah, thanks for the question, Ethan. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Chuck Man, what's going on, man?
What's up, Chuck Man?
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming through. Thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely. Flex Ayuk, Marcus Johnson, Miles Sanders, or Bateman. Standard 50-yard TD, 100-yard running receiving bonus.
Okay. Big play bonuses. I love big play bonuses. Every league should have big play bonuses.
Going Bateman?
Yeah, I think so. Even though it's standard, I have to imagine we're looking at a super consolidated target share with a backup quarterback. I feel like I'm just like discarding Brandon Ayuk today / this week.
/ all season.
Well, not all season. He was fifth round.
Yeah, you were an advocate for him in the.
I liked him. I liked him coming in. I said he was. I wasn't like pumping him up, but I did say in my draft plan he's a fine pick.
No, but a couple weeks ago too, it looked like he was coming into his own a little bit and completely out of the doghouse. So we did advocate starting him a few weeks ago in a few matchups, but he's kind of come back to earth from even that. Even though his usage had stayed relatively steady, I've been off of Ayuk pretty much all season.
He was trending to have a decent game, but ultimately he wasn't needed against the Rams, really.
Crazy.
Lamar officially out. William just dropped in the channel. And Slim. And I'm seeing it. Yup, breaking news. Lamar Jackson is out. Tyler Huntley is slated to get the start.
Yeah, our ticker still says Lamar Jackson still viewed as game time call.
Can we get that updated?
That's possible? From an RSS feed, okay. So they have to update it for it to be updated.
They'll fix it.
Yeah.
Bateman's ceiling is significantly lower. I will say, Chuck, man, that Ayuk has a little bit more upside this week than the likes of.
You're going Ayuk over Sanders?
I mean, you said it yourself, and I'm in agreement. We gotta see it from.
We do have to see it. We do have to see it with Sanders, and that should be a tougher matchup this week, I believe.
Remember, against the Rams, Ayuk had some decent production, but as it turns out, the 49ers the Rams never put up a fight, and in the second half, Ayuk wasn't needed.
So you're going Ayuk?
I'm gonna say Ayuk.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Ayuk. Maybe it's a little bit of a swing for the fences. It's a little bit of a risk, Chuck, man. But of those options, Ayuk was doing a little something in the first half against the Rams. Again, he just wasn't needed in the second half. The 49ers had that game in hand most of the time. And they were just running the ball. They were running the ball, and Ayuk is not asked, other than the occasional end around. Debo is the guy as far as the wide receivers who they put in the backfield, not Ayuk. He might be needed a little bit more today. I'm going to say Ayuk. It would be Bateman, but with Lamar being out, officially out, that ceiling is low. For Bateman, the ceiling is lowered. For Mark Andrews, although I doubt you can pivot off him.
I don't think I'm moving the ceiling down too much for Mark Andrews. I see Chris M7's question way down below. Are you downgrading Andrews? So we're going to answer that one here. He was the tight end 2 coming into the week behind only Travis Kelce.
You do that. I'm taking my bathroom break. Sorry,
go for it. Go for it. Turn your mic down. We don't want to hear none of that. I mean, Mark Andrews has been the tight end 2 coming into the week. If you look at the weapons that they have to work with right now, they obviously haven't been able to rely on really anybody in the run game, with the exception of over-the-hill vets. I mean, we got Latavius Murray and Devonta Freeman in there. So not running backs that you're just going to feed the rock to every other play and hope to win the game. Their number 1 playmaker right now, Hollywood Brown, out 2. I know Bateman's in there. Bateman's good, but they're the number 1 read on most plays in the pass game should be to Andrews, and a backup quarterback. A backup quarterback should be targeting that the number 1 tight end, who is the number 1 target in this offense early and often. The quality of the targets that he's going to be getting are going to go down. but I'm not downgrading Andrews all that much. I mean, unless you have like Mike Gesicki, I'm not putting in anybody over Andrews. Unless you have Darren Waller and Mark Andrews, which I don't foresee anybody really having out there, I'm not downgrading Mark Andrews. If you have Dawson Knox, I'm not putting in Dawson Knox over Mark Andrews this week. I'm not downgrading Andrews all that much.
Back.
What's going on, bro?
Agreed.
It stinks. You might not see the ceiling play, but I'm not downgrading the tight end 2 on the season with the consolidated target share that he's going to be working with. I know the quality of the targets is going to go down, but I'm still rolling them out. I have no reservations about Andrews.
But I'm good with Ayuk over Bateman.
Agreed. Hey, Eric Lanier, we're glad we could help. Could help. Got any more questions? You already know. I see you got another one down below, so we'll get to that in a bit. Slim Reaper, Collins or Carter, PPR, also flex, Waddle, Devonta Smith, or Schultz, or one of the RBs. Carter, PPR.
Carter, yeah, he could get garbage time. Collins has been way more of a low floor play than is comfortable playing him again in a bad matchup.
Yep. And then Waddle, Devonta Smith, Schultz, or Collins. I'd be going Devonta Smith, but I know you don't like the Marcus Lattimore matchup.
It's tough.
Schultz
I think because
has
it's full PPR,
matchup there, but
I would go Waddle because it's full PPR.
Yeah, Waddle hasn't been giving you these ceiling games of late,
no,
but also Tua's been banged up, and Tua last game was in there, but he wasn't 100% healthy.
He was announced the starter relatively early in the week, so that's got to be a good sign as far as
I'm going
health.
Waddle there. So start Carter and then go Waddle in the flex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing scary about the matchup against the Jets.
Hey, Marcus. Appreciate the sentiments as always.
We
hope your Sunday's going well. Hope you're blessed as well. We hope you win every single one of your matchups, man. We hope you have a good one today.
We hope it's solid help.
Yeah, we hope everybody in here better win their matchups.
Yeah, everybody who comes in hands out. Appreciate you guys.
Yep. Gavin Mertez, what's going on? Pick 3.
Gavin.
Devonta Smith, Lockett, Chase, CD, AJ Brown, or Mike Williams. Well, Chase, CD, AJ Brown.
Yeah.
And that's not hard for me. You got a great set of wide receivers there. So props for having some really good depth there, some really good starters. But you start Jamar Chase, you start CD Lamb, you start AJ Brown.
If Lockett pops this week, maybe try to trade him for a back.
Yeah, let us know who your throw your whole roster in. I'm intrigued to see what your whole roster is, Gavin, because I like those wide receivers. And Nick's right. If you can trade Lockett off of a hot game this week,
maybe do it.
Yeah, I'd be intrigued. Notorious. When is Eno Benjamin season starting?
Maybe next year. Happening.
Next year.
Maybe next year. James Conner's probably played his way into like a 1-year contract, another 1-year deal with Arizona if he want. Or I think that's his situation. Is he in the last year of his contract?
I believe everybody is. I believe everybody in that backfield is on a 1-year deal.
Chase Edmonds is on a 1-year deal as well.
And I think Geno Benjamin could take Chase Edmonds' spot, and we could be seeing James Conner in there for another year. Because Chase Edmonds hasn't absolutely fired. Season? Yeah, Chase Edmonds hasn't absolutely fired, and they seem much higher on Eno Benjamin this year than they did last year.
Yeah, last year was a redshirt year for him.
I want to get the.
All right, 2022 might be Eno Benjamin season.
I want to be definitive about this contract stuff. I'm pulling it up right now, so I don't mislead you guys. While you do James Conner 1-year deal, Chase Edmonds 1-year deal, Jonathan Ward 1-year deal, Tavian Feaster 1-year deal. Eno Benjamin is there, signed through 2023. So next year, man. Next year, Eno Benjamin season. Lock it in.
Next year, Eno Benjamin.
Lock it in.
There you go. Gavin, Herbert or Cam? I think I go Herbert at home.
Yeah, I love Cam, but Herbert is a QB1.
Herbert's
and Cam, you're hoping is a QB1, even though, and we'll get to this next question.
Is TJ Watt out for Pittsburgh? That's the Chargers' opponent.
I'm going Herbert. I know Herbert has had a few down games this year. I'm still going Herbert.
Yeah. No, I just want to see like is this matchup a little more favorable for Herbert? Not that I'm not playing him anyway.
Herbert's the overall QB7.
Watt was still unable to practice this week. Probably going to miss. Oh, Minkah Fitzpatrick's on the COVID list. Yeah, Herbert.
Now, Herbert has gotten you a couple of, like, more sub 20-point games than you would really think. He has that 30, 40-point upside, but
right.
Week 10, Week 8, Week 6, Week 1 and 2, all sub 20-point games.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think I go Herbert here.
Okay. Clyde is officially active. That's not super surprising at this point.
Eric Lanier, is Cam a QB1 rest of season or more like a mid-range QB2?
He's got QB1 upside. I don't know if he's a QB1 rest of season.
I mean, Kirk Cousins is the 10th quarterback in fantasy right now. 10th ranked quarterback.
He could outperform him.
He can outperform Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Now Kyler Murray is 8th, and he's been sitting out a few games.
He's been hobbled.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he can break into the 10th spot. I don't know how much
low end QB1.
I don't know how much higher he's getting.
Probably not much higher than that.
Right, but yeah, Cam Newton can be a back end QB1 rest of season for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I had the choice, we had Herbert versus Cam at QB. If that was Kirk versus Cam at QB, I might be going Cam.
That's fair.
So yeah, I think Cam can be a back end QB1 for sure. Top end QB1, no, that's not in his realm of outcomes anymore.
Realm of outcomes, yeah, agreed.
Oh. Tony Kamaj, what's going on? Thanks for
Tony?
joining us. Pick 2 wide receivers: Landry, Bateman, Gallup, Sanders. Bateman and Gallup.
Not Emmanuel with Josh Allen versus Bateman with Tyler Huntley. I don't know that Bateman is necessarily a layup anymore.
Yeah, I still think he's going to be getting around like 9 to 10 targets, even though the targets aren't going to be good. I guess Gallup, Sanders. Gallup, Sanders.
Bateman is a floor play. Bateman is a floor play with a lower ceiling now. Sanders is also safe. Like, Bateman and Sanders are safe. Sanders might be a little more boom bust, but like Sanders' floor is not too scary. It's not.
No, Sanders.
Low.
I mean, even when Dawson Knox was doing his thing, Sanders was doing his thing too.
Sanders can get
beginning
like 4
of the season.
65
Sanders was doing his thing. So yeah, I guess Gallup and Sanders.
With Lamar being out, we got to downgrade Bateman a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't really like Landry at all. Rest of season, rest of career. I love what Landry has done for my fantasy teams. I don't expect him to do anything else for any fantasy teams that I have him on.
Mm-hmm.
So he's for what that's worth. Thanks for that that news on the Josina Anderson Slim. Thanks for keeping us all
about Lamar.
Yeah, thanks for keeping us all appraised of the situation. William Risky, thanks for joining us. Bateman or Mike Williams standard? I'm going Mike Williams this week.
Yeah, I'll go back to the well with Mike Williams in this situation.
Yep.
Just like I'm a little leery on Bateman now. By the way, we got some breaking news. Eagles Kenneth Gainwell is a healthy scratch for Week 11.
Oof.
Eagles Kenneth Gainwell is inactive for Week 11. This boosts Miles Sanders.
But this also means that Jordan Howard ain't going away.
Jordan Howard's not going
Boston
anywhere.
Scott
and
ain't going away.
Boston Scott.
So this looks like it's going to be a running back by committee with 3 heads moving forward. We hope that Sanders comes out on top of the other 2.
Yep.
But that's not a guarantee, especially this week.
Yep.
So this Gainwell news isn't good to me if I'm a Sanders owner. I would have rather Gainwell stayed active over Jordan Howard.
This is good news for Miles Sanders.
It's bad news for Miles Sanders.
Why is it? No, I think it condenses the workload.
Yeah, but I think Jordan Howard could still get a fair amount of run. And it's not like Gaskin was getting used all that much. if they went back to using or not Gaskin, Gainwell was being used all that much.
Mm-hmm.
This just it muddies the waters. I'm not gonna say it's better or worse. It muddies the waters for me. It's just we just really need to wait and see even more now for me with Miles Sanders, because I think there's a chance that we could see Jordan Howard continue to do what he's been doing.
Yeah, I think this is better. I really think this is the better news for I think Jordan Howard was officially never going anywhere regardless. I think this helps. I think this is a vote of confidence for Sanders' return. I really do.
Hope so. Still wait and see for me. But I am being forced to play him in a few matchups, so we'll see. Thanks for that breaking news. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, you got a flex question, Slim. In another league, Bateman, Knox, or Traquan Smith. I'm not laughing, don't worry.
Great matchup.
Traquan's been the Saints' best offensive weapon over the past 3 weeks. Traquan, not Saquon. Did I say Saquon? I meant Traquan.
I say Knox.
Flex in I'm going Knox.
I thought you said you were going Traquan.
No, I said Traquan's been better the last 3 weeks.
Oh, I thought you said you were
He's
going
been
Traquan
the leading
among these options.
No, I'm going Knox, but Traquan has
Knox.
been better. He's been the best Saints passing the game option over, Callaway and Troutman over the last 3 weeks. But I'm going Knox.
Are we really doing Knox over Bateman
This week? Yeah. I don't trust Tyler Huntley.
Are we falling that far on Bateman?
I don't trust Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
If I have the chance between a pass catcher for Tyler Huntley and a pass catcher for Josh Allen, it's not that hard for me.
Yeah. All right. Knox.
Andrews or Arnold, Ingram or Wilson. I'm still sticking with Andrews. Crumply heads, Khalid. I'm still sticking with Andrews. Tight end 2 right now.
We're not moving off Andrews, but we're completely pivoting off Bateman. I just want to make sure.
I'm not completely pivoting off of Bateman. I'm not pivoting off of Andrews. I'm not completely pivoting off of Bateman.
All right. Andrews' ceiling is much lower. Let me see. And then as far as Ingram over Wilson, I think I lean Ingram despite the worst matchup. I think I lean Ingram. And I mean Andrews.
I like Wilson. Andrews is the tight end 2. Dan Arnold is the tight end 22. Yeah. I don't think I'm crazy there for saying Andrews, for not moving off of Andrews there. I like Dan Arnold, and he has been much better since moving over to the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I'm sticking with Andrews. Tight end 2 on the season.
Yeah, all right. Stick with Andrews. And then, yeah, I like Wilson this week, but I like them both this week, but I think I slightly prefer Ingram. I think that, the target share or the production is a little bit more consolidated as far as who's going to get the touches. Slight edge to Ingram over Wilson.
Garth Murray, Schultz, or Arnold. I'm sorry, that took me a little bit. I'm looking up where they are over the last 5 games. Dan Arnold is TE 13.
Oh, you are Arnold and Schultz?
Yeah, and Dalton Schultz is the TE 21 over the last 5 games.
I think I'll go Schultz in a potential shootout with Kansas City. No Amari Cooper, no Blake Jarwin.
I'm going Schultz.
I'll go Schultz. Arnold has the toughest matchup or one of the tougher matchups by the numbers this week with San Francisco.
And I'm going to go back to the you said we're all the way off Bateman, but we're not off Andrews. Bateman technically hasn't hit yet.
I was just asking.
I know. But Bateman technically hasn't hit yet.
He's delivered
Andrews
solid
has been hitting
plays
for 2.5 years. So there's a little bit of a difference there. I mean, we all expect Bateman to break out, but it's tough to trust Tyler Huntley, man.
Right.
So yeah, I stand by it.
Fair enough. But yeah, Schultz over Arnold. Better matchup. little bit more favorable situation.
Red and gold, what's going on? Is Robbie Anderson worth starting over Thielen? No. Start
play
Thielen.
Thielen.
Yep.
I know Thielen's floor has been the past 2 games, but his floor is still, again, he caught a touchdown on limited targets, and then in the other game he had 5 for 65. I'm not reacting to Robbie Anderson's like decent game. Because outside of the touchdown, it was 4 for 37 yards.
Yeah, I'm not chasing that.
I mean, he could be better. It's a great matchup. Cam is in there. He's better than Sam Darnold, but
and PJ Walker.
That's a significant tier break.
Yeah,
no, I'm
going Thielen. Going Thielen. Yeah. Tim Grasick, what's going on? Sanders or Josh Jacobs? I'm going Josh Jacobs.
If it's Miles, yeah,
I'm
Josh
with
Jacobs.
both of them. I'm going Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, regardless. Yeah, you're playing Josh Jacobs. It's not the best matchup by the numbers, but the Raiders are at home. Jacobs gets work. I think the Bengals are only 1.5 point favorites, so Vegas expects this to be a close game. That favors a guy who is good, but also very game script dependent in Jacobs.
Yep. All right, we got a trade question from Chuck Mann.
Let's do it.
I traded Connor, Jefferson, and Deontay Johnson for Joe Burrow and Chase. Add them to Swift, Lockett, Gibson, Miles Sanders. What are you guys' thoughts? Did I give up too much? I also have Russell Wilson.
So
you traded away Connor. You traded away Justin Jefferson and Deontay Johnson for Chase.
If it's only starting one quarterback, I think you gave up a little much there.
Giving up those,
awesome,
I like your wide receivers. I mean, I like that you still have Lockett, but who are your other wide receivers? You have Swift, Gibson, and Miles. I like those. That's a decent running back stable, but
now the receivers are just Lockett and Chase. And Jefferson has been good again this year. Deontay Johnson is solid. Yeah.
And you had Russ.
Right.
The stack is nice. Burrow and Chase, that stack is nice. But I do think it was a little bit too much to give up to achieve that stack.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of an overpay.
Now, you do have a clear QB1 with a wide receiver 1 stack. And you have an RB1, a clear-cut RB1 in Swift. Lockett is a boom bust wide receiver 2, which is why it hurts a little bit more. And we don't know what to expect from Miles Sanders moving forward. So there's some question marks here now. Because you don't quite have the depth. But let us know what the rest of your team looks like as far as your bench, and we can give you, because that I think that matters here. If you have depth at wide receiver behind Lockett and Chase, that might make it a little bit more palatable.
Yeah.
But let us know. Throw it in the chat. Hey, we hope you win off of that trade, man. Sometimes
hopefully.
What can look like an overpay today is an underpay tomorrow, so you never know. But that is a lot to give up. Because you gave up an RB1 on the year, a wide receiver 1 on the year, and a borderline wide receiver 1 on the year for a QB1 when you had a QB1 and another wide receiver 1 on the year.
Yeah. Solid. It was steep
I'm looking at best that might be a little lateral.
Yeah.
But let us know what the rest of your team is.
Yeah, what the rest of the wide receivers look like and whoever your tight end is. Emhart, what's going on?
What's going on? Tony Sanders
or Claypool. And I see at the very bottom clarify that it's Emmanuel Sanders. So I'm going to say Sanders.
Yep.
Claypool, bad matchup. Hasn't been rookie
Hasn't been last
year,
what he was last year.
And Tony, I know he's tantalizing, but let me see how he does with Saquon back, with Kenny Golladay back. Could it help him a little bit? Sure, yeah, but let's see how he does with the Giants' full complement of weapons. Sanders.
Yep, agreed.
And then Williams dead with Clyde back. No, I don't think
completely.
He's dead.
Not completely.
He's not dead, but Clyde is reportedly expected to start. He's officially active for the game. I don't know how much I believe the report that he is going to start. Yeah, sure, maybe he officially gets the first snap, the first touch, but Williams is going to mix in. Could it be a gross committee now that we would maybe say avoid this week if possible? Yeah, let's see how it shakes out. But he shouldn't be dead. Williams has given them solid production while Clyde has been out.
But yeah, Sanders and Williams ain't dead. Agreed.
Yep.
Cesar
Easy.
Rangel, what's going on?
Sorry.
Cam Newton or Tua Tagovailoa? PPR league, Jeff Wilson or T. Higgins? I'm going Cam.
Cam over Tua.
And I'm going T.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm sticking with that T.
I like Wilson this week. I do.
As do I.
This week.
He has a chance to put up an RB1 week. If you've been tuning into any of the other live streams, you've heard my rant on Jeff Wilson. But you've also, if you've been tuning in, you heard Nick's rant on T. Higgins. I like T. Higgins a lot. After hearing what Nick had to say about T. Higgins, he kind of enlightened me a little bit to what T. Higgins has been doing this year, because I didn't have him on any of my teams and I haven't been paying attention that much. It seemed, from an outsider's perspective, to be the Jamar Chase show. But T. Higgins has a high floor, and he can get you a ceiling week.
Friends don't let friends forget that T. Higgins is really good.
There we go. I like that. I like that. All right, we got a kicker
Higgins
question.
is nice. I like Wilson
All right.
has RB1 upside this week, Cesar. Wilson has RB1 upside this week. T. Higgins has a high floor.
He has wide receiver 2 floor, wide receiver 1 ceiling.
But Wilson has like RB has a low RB2 floor.
Yes.
Higgins is safer. Wilson, if you feel like you need some upside, but even still, I like Higgins.
PPR league, Higgins.
I like Higgins.
Yep.
Callie, what's going on?
Kelly Loco?
Kicker question. Ooh, boy. Sanders and the rookie phenom or
Your boy.
Dustin Hopkins.
Your boy.
I like McPherson, but it's a tougher matchup. Again, this isn't foolproof to just like target the best matchups, but the Jets give up the most points to seemingly every position, and that includes kickers. The Jets give up the most points to kickers. Where is that game? Is that in Miami or is that in New York?
I don't have the answer to that.
Well, we're going to find out. It's in New York. So let's take a look at the weather. John, can you start on the next question? I'm going to look up some weather info for this kicker question.
Yes, sir. Mitchell Benkowski, thanks for joining us. Half PPR, tight end premium, half point tight end premium. Ertz or Foreman in my last flex. Ooh. All right.
Foreman.
I think Foreman, but let me see what Ertz has been doing. I know that.
You do that. I have my kicker answer. It's Sanders, Callie. The weather's not a concern in New York today. Only 10-mile-per-hour winds. No rain. No precipitation in the air or in the area. Weather conditions look just fine. Jets give up the most points to opposing kickers. I'll say Sanders.
And
as your kicker.
Ertz has been getting anywhere from 4 to 6 targets a game, and he's been catching 3 to 4 targets a game since joining the Arizona Cardinals. He's topped out at 3 receptions for 66 yards and a touchdown is what you're hoping for.
Was that against Houston?
Yes.
I think it was.
Yes.
It was against Houston.
So with Ertz, I know hopefully he's getting Kyler Murray back, and DeAndre Hopkins isn't going to be playing, so there's going to be a slightly consolidated target share there. But it looks like Ertz has a ceiling of 3 to 4 catches, and you're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm going Foreman.
I'm going Foreman because that's not enough target work through the
PPR premium boost for Ertz is not enough for me to move off a guy.
Right, if he's getting 3 to 4 catches.
I think Foreman has a safe, flexible floor this week.
Yeah. They might end up right around the same. With that TE premium, they might end up getting pretty much the same total, but I'm going Foreman because I feel like Foreman's a little bit safer. And Ertz doesn't have the ceiling.
It's looking like, for what it's worth, it's looking like Kyler Murray is going to miss another game.
And Ertz doesn't have the super high ceiling. He's got a high floor because 3 catches a game for at least 30 yards. That's a decent floor for a tight end premium, but Foreman, I agree. Brett McCoy, what's going on? Non-PPR, Gibson, Devonta Smith, Terry McLaurin, Donta Foreman, and Rashad Bateman. Please pick 2. Gibson, McLaurin, and it's not. Yeah, I'm both. Yeah, everybody Gibson, in Washington, Washington football team players.
That's wild. But yeah, Gibson, McLaurin. Devontae Smith has a tough matchup against Marshawn Lattimore today. If Devontae Smith does it today against Lattimore, then he jumps into a matchup-proof conversation. But let's wait a week on that. Bateman, we're downgrading with Lamar being out. And while I like Foreman this week, I can't advocate starting him over Gibson and, of course, not McLaurin.
Yep.
Even in standard scoring. Yep, you're Washington players, Brett.
Yep.
The Washington players.
Jan Ottinger, what's going on? Tua or Rodgers? Rodgers. I know it's been kind of hit or miss with Rodgers, but he's still a back-end QB1, whereas Tua, you're hoping for a back-end QB1 performance. Rodgers is kind of floor is where Tua's ceiling is, I believe, this week. Am I wrong there?
No, I'm with it.
M.
Rodgers.
Hart, yep, thanks for the clarification there.
And
Gavin Mertes,
and play him.
You retracted your message. I see it a little bit here on the live chat. You threw your whole team in there. Put it back. Watch you go. Put it back.
Or if you want any breakdown at all, let us know.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Xavier?
Thanks for joining us, bro. Thanks for your questions. Xavier, what's up? M. Hart, you're welcome. Xavier, is Zane Gonzalez a good kicker to start? Evan McPherson is on waivers, and Koo and Sanders.
I mean, my pick would be Sanders this week. Jason Sanders, right? That would be my pick this week. Just the Jets. That's it. Sometimes that's all it takes. Like, the Jets are giving up the most points to kickers. I know division games can get weird. I know division games can get wonky. I know the Dolphins are hardly an offense that you can trust. But I got to think against the Jets, they are capable enough to give themselves enough scoring opportunities today. Sanders is a pretty good kicker. He's a little up and down, but the matchup is beautiful.
Beautiful.
I'm going Sanders.
Oh, Aquas, what's going on, man? And we do not like Bateman as much with Huntley starting. He's more of a high-end wide receiver 3 versus high-end wide receiver 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking coming into the game, if Lamar was playing and he was healthy, that's a high-end wide receiver 2 we're looking at with Bateman. But with Huntley, even though the usage is still there, high-end wide receiver 3 now.
Yeah.
Brett, you want Foreman and Smith? Or you? But I'm afraid to bench Gibson and McLaurin.
I'm also afraid to bench Gibson.
Hey, man.
I'm also afraid to bench Gibson. And I know Terry's not been Terry this year, but he's still a guy I can't take out of my lineup.
Yeah, I think the fact that Terry hasn't been Terry is more to do with the quarterbacks than Terry. I think Terry's still Terry, and I'm still in start my studs territory.
Yeah, we need Taylor Heineke.
Gibson and McLaurin
to hyper target that guy.
Cali Loco, my other league, non-PPR, long distance scores bonus. Flex Adrian Peterson or Pollard? Pollard. Higher upside, catches passes, isn't touchdown or bust, and isn't averaging
you're just hoping
2
AP
yards per
falls
carry
into
right
the
now.
end zone.
So yeah,
Pollard. Long distance score, like Pollard could take one to the house. I don't think Adrian Peterson at this point.
AP isn't getting the work that
play.
far out. So like he's getting the work within 20 yards of the end zone. So he's not going to be scoring long distance scores, even if he scores on one of his rushes. If he has a long run for AP, that's going to be around 18 yards. That he isn't. They're not rushing him in the opponent's end of the field. That's not the way they're using Peterson. But Brett, hey, glad we could help. Nico Soft, thanks for joining us. Ayuk or Schultz as my second flex in half PPR.
Ooh.
Schultz
has a better matchup and a better situation. Schultz is the floor play. Ayuk is the ceiling play. I think
Ayuk is the tight end 7 right now.
Schultz is playing it safe. So if you think you can get by with the safer play, then Schultz. If you think you could use some upside, if you're looking at your situation, if you're looking at your matchup and you're thinking to yourself, I need like maybe a home run play or two, Ayuk. I think the only reason Ayuk didn't put up better numbers last week because in the second half he was just literally not needed.
Good point. Garth Murray, what are your thoughts on?
He was doing a little something in the first half of that game.
True.
Last Monday night.
True. Then they just ran away with the whole game. Garth Murray, what are your thoughts on Tony Jones Jr.? I think he's coming back. I don't know how much work he's going to get, and if he's not a guy
today.
He's not a guy I'm chasing. Let's just put it that way.
He'll get. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get 10 touches, or 7, 8 touches.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody else to use right now. They've Dwayne Washington is the other guy. Last I checked. So he might get a little bit of
Tony
work.
Jones Jr. I'm not expecting a ton. I'm not going after him in fantasy. We did a few videos on Tony Jones Jr. in the beginning of the year. If you want to get a little bit of if you want to listen to a little bit of a deep dive on Tony Jones Jr., what his range of outcomes are, albeit you have to. The caveat is it was at the beginning of the year and a lot has changed in 10 games in the season, but you can kind of get an idea of where he's come from, how he produced in college, that kind of thing. Check on our channel. There's a few good videos on Tony Jones Jr. Jay Riot, who should I play as my second wide receiver now that Lamar is out? Still roll with Bateman, Emmanuel Sanders, or Christian Kirk? No D-Hop. We're still on the Emmanuel Sanders train, are we not? Or are you going Christian Kirk there?
Well, Jay Riot says Emmanuel Sanders has been terrible since the bye. I mean, he had 4 for 65. Was it last week or the week before? I think it was the week before. So, it's not obviously it's not like that's not the maximum output you're looking from him. But last week, I think he only caught 2 for 27, but he had an end around run for over 20 yards. So he's involved. He's a floor play. Kirk, I think, has a little bit more upside, despite the fact that it's going to be Colt McCoy. DeAndre Hopkins being out potentially catapults him into the number 1 role. Sanders is attached to the best quarterback. Bateman and Kirk are playing with backups.
In air yards behind, and right sandwiched in between Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb. Emmanuel Sanders is 14th in the NFL in air yards. Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb. I'm going Emmanuel Sanders, and I know he hasn't been great since the bye, but
he's a floor play.
Those are numbers that I'm chasing.
Sanders is a floor play, like a safe floor play.
Yep.
If you're thinking you could use a little bit of upside, Jay Riot, then maybe Kirk, but Sanders is the safe floor play.
And we got another Knox and Muth question. All right.
Oh yeah, Xavier. Oh, Xavier's leaning Muth. So Xavier, we got this earlier. We're split on this. John likes Knox. I'll just briefly summarize. Just better quarterback. Was he top 6, top 7, maybe top 5 tight end before the hand injury?
He was top 2 to 3. Right now, Dawson Knox is the tight end 6, despite only playing in 7 games in the year. The next tight end to play in less than 7 games this year is Rob Gronkowski at tight end 21. So every other tight end has played 8 or 9 games, and there's only 5 tight ends that are at a higher point total than him, despite the fact that he's missed 3 games here. And you look at Freiermuth right now. Freiermuth is the tight end 16, having played 9 games, averaging 5.5 fantasy points per game. Dawson Knox played 7 games, averaging 8.9 fantasy points per game. This isn't standard, but I'm going Dawson Knox. The numbers.
You're going Knox. I'm going Muth, Xavier, just because, yes, the production, Knox has been better season long, pound for pound, but Freiermuth has come on strong of late, has delivered in some big matchups, and gets a top 5 matchup by the numbers this week against the Chargers, who are much stronger against wide receivers than they are against tight ends. So I'm chasing the matchup and the recent stretch of good play. I know last week was a bit of an outlier for Freiermuth, but that was a rain slop fest tie gross game. John leans Knox. I lean Freiermuth. Yeah, so we're at odds there.
Knox was the tight end 3 through 6 weeks, and he was averaging 10 fantasy points per game, and there were only 2 tight ends in the league that were doing better than him. One of them was Kelsey, the other one was Andrews. So
elite company.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just the numbers keep pointing me in the direction of Knox, and I'm just gonna keep rolling with Knox.
You're sticking with Knox. Yeah. I'm sticking to my guns on Freiermuth. Great matchup by the numbers. Ben Roethlisberger being back obviously helps tremendously. Matchup is awesome. So I'm staying Muth. So sorry, Xavier, we're at odds there, but hopefully we can hopefully you can take the breakdown and ultimately make a final decision. But
just go Knox
or Muth.
Yo, Nico, you're welcome. Jay Riot. Also, do I risk it for the biscuit and keep Barkley for Tuesday, or do I play Donta Foreman, Darrell Williams, or D'Ernest Johnson? You're Mr. Donta Foreman. Are you going Donta Foreman over Saquon Barkley?
No. I'm risking it.
Yep,
I'm risking it for the biscuit, and I'm playing Saquon. He's trending to playing. I know the matchup is bad, but
it's Saquon.
I know it's an injured Saquon. We're 3 years removed now from rookie year Saquon popping off, but it's still Saquon. He put up big numbers in a couple games this year before this most recent injury.
Wait. He could technically drop to Ernest Johnson and play Gallup as your wide receiver 2.
Would that mean you're taking Saquon out of your lineup?
Would you play Gallup or Saquon?
I'm rolling the dice on Saquon.
All right, there you go. You got your full answer there. Just roll with Saquon, bro.
I'm rolling the dice on Saquon. If I have to pick up, I know it sounds gross, but if it's like Darius Slayton's out there, Gio Bernard, I don't know, Tyler Johnson.
Would you drop to Ernest Johnson for Michael Gallup, knowing that Kareem Hunt will be returning soonish, and Ernest Johnson will then be relegated to basically not playable, whereas Gallup could be a high-end wide receiver 3, low-end wide receiver 2 rest of season?
Well, I guess the question is, why is Gallup on waivers? Do you only start 2 wide receivers? Is it like a numbers crunch every week for wide receivers? And that's why a player like Gallup is on the wire to begin with?
Yeah, I don't know.
So not necessarily.
Okay.
And then 0.
All right, we'll roll with Saquon.
Are we talking about Sanders down here, Emmanuel Sanders? I know, yes, lately he has not put up huge weeks, but he's still a safe floor play attached to, I think, among your options, the best quarterback. And the Bills keep their foot on the gas. They don't give up. They don't give up as far as that offense just pedal to the metal all the time. They'll run it up if they have to. The Bills don't care, and they do it by throwing the ball. Josh Allen was still in the game in the fourth quarter of a blowout. Sanders stays a threat throughout the game, regardless of game script.
Yeah.
I'll stick with Sanders. If you're not feeling it, if you're like, I hear you, but I don't agree, that's okay, Jay. Right? If you want to pivot, if you prefer to play Bateman with Tyler Huntley, or actually, I would probably advise for Kirk at this point, just because the thing in Kirk's favor is he should be the number 1 wide receiver, since both him and Bateman are playing with backup quarterbacks. If you don't want to play Sanders, then I guess then Kirk would be my second option, but we're sticking to Sanders would be our suggestion. If you're not feeling it, that's up to you. That's your call. It's your team. At the end of the day, it's your team. It's your decision. We're just throwing my 2 cents on, of those options, what I think I would go with.
Yep.
If it were my call.
But yeah, we hope that helps.
Hopefully that
helps. We helped you decide a little bit there.
And if it doesn't, if you don't like the answer, then go with Kirk. If you're like, if you're hearing everything that we're saying and you're like, I don't like it, I don't agree, that's fine.
Doesn't matter.
Go with Kirk. But we'll still advocate.
Your opinions are irrelevant. Yeah.
I don't know why this is saying breaking news. Marquise Brown is out. We knew that.
The ticker?
It's a sleeper update. Breaking news. Marquise Brown out, but we knew that. Anyway.
Yo, Jay Riot, you're 9-1. Good job.
There you go.
Good job.
So I would play it safe. I would play it safe and play Sanders. That lends.
And we're glad that you make the Les calls, man. Do it. We like that. We like that. We're just here to help. We're here to hopefully help. Run your fantasy team for you.
Yeah, of course you. Everybody
got some questions for us. Bounce them off us, but
we'll do what we can.
Roll with your own decisions.
we don't make the final call. We don't try to make the final call for you. We just give you what we got as far as player by player breakdown.
Yes, sir. Kyle Nohe, what's going on, man? With
Okay.
Lamar out, I'm starting D. Jones. Should I replace Danny Dimes with Heineke, Tyrod Taylor, Justin Fields? No. Daniel Jones.
Missed Nico. We missed the Nico comment.
I'm sorry.
Let me go back up to that really quick. Yes, I agree. Leaning into the Dolphins this week. Start Mooney or Corey Davis over Gaskin in the flex. I like Mooney this week, but Gaskin's got as good as matchup as he can get.
And you technically got the stack, so roll
right,
with Gaskin.
And it's a stack. Yep, and it's a stack.
And Tua.
And yes, start Tua over Wentz. Wentz is playing the Bills.
Sorry about skipping you, bro. Didn't mean
Bench
to.
Wentz.
Wonky chat. But thanks, bro. Thanks for the questions. Kawanohi, I would stick with Daniel Jones.
Start Daniel Jones.
If you're gonna swerve to Fields, if anybody. But I wouldn't. Just Daniel Jones.
With stronger complement of weapons. I think
you chopped out for a second there. Can you repeat that?
It says my connection is unstable.
Yeah, can you repeat what you just said?
Yeah, I said the only thing I would if I would pivot off of Daniel Jones for any of these guys, it would be Fields. But Jones has just as good of a rushing floor, rushing upside, and a much better complement of weapons, much deeper collection of weapons, especially if Saquon plays.
Agreed. Yep, roll with Daniel Jones, bro.
Yep.
And let's hope Lamar comes back soon. Let's hope it's just a 1 week thing.
Knox. Yeah, he almost scored a touchdown last week. Look, you make the final call. If you want to go with Knox, go with Knox. I'm just throwing my hat in the ring for Freiermuth.
Go with Knox, but make your own decision. Yeah, Max, what's going on, Max? Darnell Mooney or Corey Davis? Darnell Mooney.
Mooney's trending up. It's been a little bit up and down for him, but Fields has looked better recently. They're coming out of their bye week now, so ideally they took this week to right the ship a little bit or get some other things figured out in the game plan. Davis, I just don't want to play him with Flacco. If I can play like Fields right now, I trust a little bit more. The Ravens are not this like scary matchup that they usually are on defense year in, year out. And they're at home. And with Lamar being out, I don't know, do the Bears capitalize on defense, create a short field here and there for the Bears offense? I'll roll the dice on Mooney, Max, between those two.
Yep. Agreed. Thanks for joining us,
Twan,
though, man.
What's going on?
Twan, what's up, bro? Sitting with Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Darrell Williams. I'm starting Jeff Wilson. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I think it's a good call.
Go
Jeff
with the
Wilson
guy that's getting the full workload and sit the guys that are splitting with
they're going to cannibalize each other.
Yeah.
Yep. No,
and what do y'all think about Rashad Penny? If I had a penny of $5 just sitting in my wallet and Rashad Penny was out on the wire, I'd keep my penny.
You'd keep the penny?
I'd keep my imaginary fab penny. I would. Sorry, Rashad.
I keep my penny over Rashad Penny.
Yep. Aqua's, you're starting Knox. I like it. Like to hear it.
There you go.
Xavier, thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
And
always.
Jay Riot, I wish I was 9-1. You're making better decisions than I am, clearly.
Maybe.
Yeah, good job, bro. Good job. Richie, start Titans defense or Bucks defense?
Ooh. I would say they both have good matchups. I'm probably slightly leaning. They're very close. I'll say because Vita Vea is out, I think that game is in Tampa.
I'm going Tennessee.
I think I'm going Tennessee. Who I think they're at home as well, right?
Yes. There's a chance I could have picked up the Bucks D in the league. I went with the Tennessee defense. Tennessee.
Oh, really? Tampa was available for you?
Yes.
And they're both at home. The Bucks are at home. The Titans are at home. Both good matchups. Tampa is down. They both have bad secondaries, but they both have good front sevens. The difference here is Vita Vea is going to miss for Tampa Bay. So Tennessee. Jeffrey Simmons is like playing on another level.
And the Giants are getting all their weapons back for what it's worth. Houston still has none outside of Cooks.
Houston still has none.
That's another deciding factor for me.
Tennessee, because, Richie.
Saquon coming back does matter.
Tennessee.
Danny Boy, what's going on, man?
What's up, Danny Boy?
Yesterday you chose Bateman, but since Lamar isn't playing, do you think I should play him or play Foreman instead? What do you think, bro?
I think you go Foreman, Danny Boy. I think we now pivot off Foreman with Lamar being out. We gotta cap Bateman's ceiling. We gotta cap Bateman's ceiling. We gotta lower expectations for Bateman. I think Foreman in a great matchup in a revenge game. Foreman at home against his old team against Houston. Jeremy McNichols is not playing. Adrian Peterson has not been Adrian Peterson.
Nope.
He's 36 years old. I think Foreman gets the most touches. If you expect game script to go as expected in this game, and the Titans have a lead, which I think they will. Houston is not good. I expect Foreman to get opportunities in the second half. I'm gonna go Foreman, Danny Boy. Yeah, I'm pivoting away from Bateman. Unless there's a significant tier break between Bateman and another option, I'm pivoting off Bateman. So Foreman is just fine for me. I'm going to say Foreman. I think he comes through today. I think Foreman has a nice little game today. I've been saying that.
Nick is basically saying Foreman's the new AJ Dillon, you guys.
Shut the hell up. I had said nothing of the sort.
All right, hey guys, we're coming up on 2 hours and 15 minutes. Nick has some prior engagements to get to, and I'm probably going to be dipping out a little bit early. We're not going to go right up to 1 o'clock here, so let's get through the rest of this chat here, and then call it a day. If we missed any of your questions, or you got any more, absolutely feel free to throw them in the comment section. But let's get through these and finish up this stream. Thanks for everybody for sticking with us.
Yes, sir.
Especially through those beginning technical difficulties. We
are making sure that does not happen on a consistent basis.
Yep.
For sure.
You said Jay Riot. I would pick up Gallup, but I already got CeeDee Lamb, so I don't feel comfortable running with 2 wide receivers on the same team.
I'm not afraid
this
of that.
I'm not afraid of that.
I'm not afraid of that. I don't want to draw. I want to roll the dice on Saquon. I just do. I want to roll the dice on Saquon. Gallup can absolutely come through today. But Saquon's the type of player. He's the type of player that I roll the dice on.
Yeah, and to that point, if you have CD rest of season, then you don't. Gallup makes sense. If you need a spot start, play both of them this week. But you got CD. You don't technically need Gallup. So
I don't hate them, but then I want to hold D'Ernest Johnson one more week.
Yep. And I know this is a question for the chat, Oaquas, but
Pittman over Bateman.
I'm going Pittman.
I do. I know it's as bad a matchup as it gets. Pittman is worth playing.
Damon Luce, Mooney, Bateman, and Gallup. Pick one at flex full PPR. Gallup.
Yeah.
No, Saquon is in my flex. I need a second wide receiver because Cup's on bye. So if you can pick up Gallup, even though you got Lamb.
Well, who are your other
who are your other options? But I wouldn't hate that for this week. I really wouldn't hate that.
Yeah, who are your other options? I guess it's between. Is it Sanders or is it Sanders? It's Bateman, Sanders, or Christian Kirk. I got it. I remember now. Sorry. Like Gallup between all of those options.
Gallup over Bateman.
Gallup over Bateman. Gallup over Kirk.
Agreed. Gallup over Sanders.
The question is Gallup over Sanders. Gallup is in a better situation today, I think, than maybe Sanders is. Sanders is a favorable situation, I think. Gallup is the ceiling play.
Sanders has more air yards than Amari Cooper.
I would say Jay Wright because you're 9-1. I think you're fine. I think you're fine playing it safe with Sanders.
Yes, I know you told us. I'm sorry, man. Sometimes the check gets a little wonky
we're figuring it out.
Yeah,
we're figuring it out. Okay. Here's the thing. Would you drop D'Ernest? Because I guess I wouldn't drop D'Ernest Johnson. Then
he says he has
Gallup
to drop.
Necessarily
he says he's got to drop D'Ernest Johnson.
But Kupp is coming back this week, so you're not going to play Gallup after this week anyway, right? And since you're 9-1, it's a 1 week thing, right?
So are you just rolling with Sanders and Kirk and keeping D'Ernest Johnson?
Yeah. I'm doing that.
I like Gallup a lot this week, but if you got to drop to Ernest Johnson,
then no.
I don't know, man. This is tough. This one is splitting hairs for me.
I mean, Ernest Johnson's not like a must hold if you don't have Nick Chubb.
He's not.
If you have Nick, yeah.
And I would rather have Gallup on my team rest of season than to Ernest Johnson. But you have CeeDee Lamb there.
Fine.
So I don't anticipate starting both of them every week. But this week, with no Amari Cooper and Blake Jarwin still on IR, and then playing the Chiefs, I would play CD and Gallup in the same matchup.
Okay. Yeah, he's a ceiling play. I guess
Ernest Johnson is the weakest link, and this could be the last Ernest Johnson week.
It
so
could
if you're
be.
not playing him this week and you need a start for your wide receivers, then it doesn't make sense to hold on to Ernest Johnson, even though I like him this week if you need to win the matchup. Now, I know Jay Wright's 9-1. Keep the streak going. Make it 10-1. I'd pick up Gallup. Drop to Ernest Johnson. Play both Cowboys against the Chiefs.
Okay. I mean, it's not the best matchup by the numbers, but it's an expected shootout, right? We're expecting points to be scored in this game.
And especially if you don't love what Sanders has been giving you,
then go Gallup, because I'd rather play Gallup over Bateman and Kirk.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with it. Yep.
Yeah, sorry about the confusion there. I hope we helped you out a little bit.
Confusion, Jay. Right?
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. And yo, Damon Luce, hey, thanks for tuning in. You have a great day too. Day too.
Enjoy the day. Enjoy the football.
Aquas, thank you as always. Danny Boy, you too.
Antoine Taylor,
CXK?
Tampa Bay defense or Seattle Seahawks? Tampa or Seattle? This is where I'm going. Tampa. The Bucks.
Seattle's defense is terrible.
Yeah, they're not that good. I know it's a
Arizona
favorable
with
situation.
Murray coming back, nah. Nope.
Well, Murray's not going to play.
Is he not going to play? Okay.
Murray's not going to play. DeAndre Hopkins is not going to play. So that makes Seattle a little bit more enticing.
Seattle still can't stop nobody.
I would play Tampa. There's
Bay.
nothing scary about the matchup against the Giants for Tampa Bay. It's a must-win game for them. Honestly, they've lost 2 games in a row, including a bad loss last week to Washington. I think Tampa rights the ship this week. I think they're a little bit more reliable than Seattle, even without Vita Vea. It's a better defensive line. It's a better group of linebackers. The secondary is not good, but I'll play the better unit in Tampa Bay. Seattle might be a more opportunistic play this week, but I don't want to pivot off of Tampa.
There you go. Sorry, we skipped over your question. We just we wanted to finalize what Jay Riot had going on there.
Yeah. So we got him. I think we're on. Yeah, we see the questions. We promise. We're not gonna leave you guys without answering them.
Yep. CXK, thank you. Hey, thank you for your time, bro. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, CXK.
Bateman, Tony, Elijah Moore this week. Bateman this week.
Of those options,
I like Elijah Moore a lot, but Flacco.
Yeah.
If it's if
Flacco's
I'm going,
the one who threw him the touchdown last week.
I don't care. I hate Flacco.
You don't care. Like Elijah Moore delivered the last week.
I know, man. But like, all right, which way are you going? Are you going Elijah Moore? I don't want to chase touchdowns.
Since the situations are very similar, backup quarterbacks, I'll go Bateman. I'll say Bateman.
Yeah.
With Tony might be the floor play of these guys, believe it or not. But again, I want to see Tony with does he deliver with Saquon back, with Kenny Golladay back?
Yeah, that spike week for Tony was such an outlier.
And it wasn't even with Daniel Jones.
Yeah, half of the game was with Mike Glennon. So
Glennon, that's right.
Yeah. And he started really booming when Glennon went in. He had a good game with Daniel Jones up to that point, but he started the boom came when Glennon was in for Tony, and all the other wide receivers were out at that point because everybody, even the ones that were playing in that game, had gotten injured. So he was last man standing. So yeah, Bateman there.
Bateman.
And thanks for everybody who's in here. Damon Luce,
appreciate it.
Thank you. Last one's here. Andrew Kent, James Robinson, or Jeff Wilson at flex. James Robinson.
I think you got to go Robinson.
He's start your
tougher
studs
matchup.
territory for me.
Yeah, I think you got to go Robinson. It's close. It's definitely close. But I think Jacksonville might catch San Francisco sleeping a little bit today. I think it might be a letdown for the 49ers. I know the 49ers aren't a good team, but anytime a team...
Jacksonville, Josh Allen. That Jacksonville Josh Allen, bro, he don't play.
Yeah, for real. Anytime a team, no matter how good or how bad, has like a big divisional emotional win on Monday night primetime game and then has to go on the road to play an out-of-conference team who's not that good themselves, I think Jacksonville might catch San Francisco sleeping a little bit today. I think Robinson is just fine to fire up, Andrew. Robinson.
And, hey, we are at the end of the chat. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for everybody who's still in here. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. Everybody with your questions.
Appreciate all you guys.
It. Twan, hey, get that popcorn ready. You already know.
Yes, sir.
Hey, everybody enjoy your Sunday.
Enjoy the football. Hope everybody gets their wins. Ideally, we have the technical issues figured out by Tuesday. Tuesday will be our waiver show. We will see you then. But enjoy week 11. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Peace.